So we're supposed to be hearing back from libertarian wrestler Venis, Sean Morley. So we're working on all that. I'm getting some viewers going. It's 1:15. I'm in my pants. Wearing some pants. Oh yeah. Oh man, anything to get Sam dancing. I'd dance to that. Most watched video.
Check.
Probably the most.
Check.
Hi, Danger.
What's up, Matt?
Gangnam Style.
Gangnam Style.
Did you know?
I can't do the voice.
Sam's back there shaking it. Yeah. Gangnam. I couldn't believe it. I introduced Goodwin to Gangnam Style like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I feel bad. It's like your buddy introducing someone to heroin. Hey man, take a look at this really shitty video. It's a crazy beat about a guy who drinks a lot of coffee. That's what he's singing. He's like, hey, Korean ladies, I know how to drink the coffee. I can order at Starbucks. It's going to be a great show tonight. Idol film stars are so fun to interview, so I'm hoping to get one of them. Worst case scenario, we can maybe get one of them My Free Cam chicks on. They're fun to interview, too.
I'm going to be doing lots of dabs tonight.
Jay Danger at the back doing lots of jabs. By the way, Jay, I don't know if we're on the air yet, but I looked into your licking a dab off of a chick's clit thing.
Yeah?
It's apparently not healthy for the girl.
That sucks.
Yeah, dude, you don't want to put something like acid on that type of a membrane there, apparently. I don't know, you ever put acid on your eyeball?
I don't know, man. I do lots of things that aren't healthy.
Dude, apparently that's like really unhealthy. But good luck to finding a... She said she'd do it, so I don't know, man. You're gonna play a clit?
All right, now it's time for a clip about the moon.
Arnold Schwarzenegger talking with us about blowing up the moon right here, right now. Governor, I was surprised, a lot of people gave me a hard time. I was talking on the air the other day about scientific research that I read that, someone called in, and I don't know how we got into it, but I said that the moon was the reason for so many of our problems, and that based on what I've read, scientific evidence, that even women would be mellower, and this was a joke, but it's true. Women's periods are controlled by the moon, the tide and the moon, and even women would be more relaxed if there was no moon. Also, the tides in the ocean would no longer be a problem where you see these monsoons and tidal waves, and maybe even tsunamis.
What is a monsoon?
Well, okay, a tidal wave. You wouldn't see it. But a lot of our weather problems would be alleviated if the moon wasn't there. And I understand you support this.
Let me tell you something, Howard. I want to make a big announcement here on the show. This is why I'm on today. Because of you, always with you, Howard. You always come up with the great genius ideas. Right. And then I will take credit for it, and will not thank you for it.
Now, by the way, if you think the governor's joking, there are thousands of miles of coastline in California that would be affected if the moon wasn't there, in a good way, because you would see there'd be less danger. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. Let me tell you something. Because
you and Arnold have figured this out.
Yeah.
I am going to propose a bill that will bring about the destruction of the moon.
Thank you. Finally.
Yes, and I'll tell you what.
California's taking on that project.
Yes, let me tell you something. First of all, you talk about the tides. Who the hell needs the tides? It comes in, it goes out.
Right.
It comes in. It cannot make up its mind. We don't need that crap.
Well, in Florida, they have something called red tide, which is horrible for them. The tourist industry is affected. The fishing industry is affected by red tide. All of that would be eliminated.
But the tide doesn't have anything to do with the redness.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Listen, Robin, you don't know what you're saying. This is what listen. Also, it will cut down on crime, because we discovered that over 90% of all the crimes is committed during the full moon.
Full moon.
So, right. So if we get rid of, so why not, instead of war, maybe everybody could be rehabilitated. No, just get rid of the moon.
Less erosion, less drownings.
Let me ask you something, though. What about
Wildlife?
the romantic factor? There'll be no more sitting down, gazing at the moon
No.
on a moonlit night.
I admit it's beautiful, but the benefits would be amazing.
Listen, let me tell you something. The moon is useless. Buzz Aldrin, he put his foot in the boot in the dirt and all that. Let me tell you something. Who cares? I mean, the flag has been sitting there. Nobody cares.
Right. It's so true.
Right.
Thank God there's a politician who I can talk to.
Let me tell you something. Listen, the American flag has been on the moon for so long. Do you see any other country's flag? No. You know why? Because it's useless. Nobody cares.
Nobody goes up there.
Nobody goes up there. Also, listen, people say, well, I mean, at night we can use the light of the moon. We've got electricity, fire, torches. You can use this stuff.
Right.
Give me a break.
Well, you know what? I know that you're a great guy, and I know you've read the scientific research as well. You don't make this.
But can California make this decision on its own?
No, but he's introducing the idea in a serious manner.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, if they don't do it, I will go up there myself, and I will destroy the moon myself. You know I can do it. You know I can do it.
Right. I know you can do it. You can do anything you set your mind to.
Absolutely. Also, like you said, Howard, I mean, without the moon regulates the menstrual cycle of many women.
Right.
If we get if we get rid of that, no more PMS, no more bitching and whining.
Right.
It's perfect.
Yeah, women will be more like guys who just want sex all the time.
Absolutely. Who can argue with this, Bill? Who can argue with it?
Well, let me tell you something. We're having a good laugh and a good time, but I want to thank you for taking it seriously. I backed the governor when he ran.
Absolutely.
And I still back him, especially now that he wants to blow up the moon. What is the best way scientifically to blow up the moon? That's the part I get.
You don't want fallout.
Right. Well, we're doing some research on that. I've got a think tank that's right now working on this process. But Howard, you're instrumental. Any feedback and any input that you can give, please let me know.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you for getting up so early this morning.
I appreciate it. Listen, you guys are great. You have a great day, Howard, and I will talk to you soon.
You too. And by the way, this is truly a nonpartisan issue. This is not about Republicans and Democrats.
Everybody has the tide affects everyone.
Everyone can unite on this.
The moon.
It's about the moon.
The moon is useless. Get rid of it.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Live in front of a stoned audience at 667 Yonge Street, second floor, Vapor Central, the Marijuana Show! It's the only weed webcast higher than the CN Tower and with webcasting morals lower than the subway system. Somewhat planned by a pothead for tonight's show, Skype guests adult film star Lizzy Borden, libertarian wrestler Sean Morley, and the dude behind the jet water pipe. In studio, we have Amsterdam resident Greg from seedtesters.com, a regular 420 swap, if Murnau remembers this week, and 420 prizes. I mean, he remembered last week, right? Now, here's your host, the guy who's half responsible for ending marijuana prohibition in Canada, Matt Murnau!
Nice. Usually I come out the back, but we got like the side thing going on there. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Vapor Central, 667 Yonge Street, second floor. We're on the Pot TV network. And
there were some people in front of shoppers wondering what's going on. And you also alerted the people in front of McDonald's.
Nice.
That you're putting on a show.
Excellent.
I saw some heads perk up.
Excellent. So the McDonald's can hear us, too.
Yeah.
Well, Jay Danger's just fantastic, isn't he?
He booms it out.
Excellent.
Yeah. Zach from next door.
Oh, shucks, guys.
Zach next door wandered out onto the street to find out why I was laughing maniacally.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That sounded good out there, too, but Jay, that sounded real good out there.
All right, stop crawling up his ass. Let Tamara say a few words.
I was just gonna praise him too.
Oh, huh. Everybody loves Jay Danger.
And you.
It's true. Everybody does.
I was in the street and I hear like music come on, and all of a sudden, and I'm like, holy shit.
Awesome. How many people were here? What was it? Friday night when Classified was there? Anybody here? You guys were here when Classified was there? Brady, where are you going? I was going to ask you about that.
Bunch of people.
Bunch of people were here when Classified was there?
I got to get my phone. Yeah, a lot of people were here. That was fun. I got a good photo.
I saw your good photo.
I got my one good fanboy photo. I am a happy man.
Well, you know.
That's good. Did you guys fill up in here? Was it sold out?
Well, we didn't. He wasn't performing. He was just chilling like a villain.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they had done a CFL show, so they didn't want to perform. They wanted to relax. But I think we made a good impression. We were actually relatively busy at that point, and they were commenting like, "Wow, you guys are real busy." And our reaction was just kind of like, "No, man, you wait till tomorrow when we got a Mookie show." Because tomorrow we're gonna be packed, and like they wanted to hear about what kind of show. They were impressed with our stage and, you know, our whole scene, what we were about, how many people we could put in here. So I think they'll be back. Amy Anonymous helped bring them along. Sarah Sunday was also out of it, has mentioned to them before that they should come here. So I think they've heard about us. But he brought along his whole crew.
You know?
Yeah. There was about a dozen of them here, I think, close to.
Well, yeah, when they tour with a posse.
Well, I mean, he's based out of Toronto, but they had a show, so yeah, they had a bus. There was a bunch of people with them. There was probably a few performers, a couple of DJs. A few of them were East Coasters, so I felt at home. It was really cool.
2 of the guys with him were his brothers.
Ah.
Brother Boyds is what they like. They're all their last name's all Boyd. So the 2 guys were his brothers, and then there was a drummer and a DJ. So that made like 5 people. And then they had a manager.
Yeah.
And that's 6. And then they had like a few just hanger-on friends.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Hanger-on friends.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Totally did that.
It was really cool. Amy Anonymous hooked it up.
I went to the. I was trying to find him on Instagram because he was taking a photo of his brother with his brother's phone while they were here. So when I got home, I was trying to find it on Instagram where he said he was going to put it. I go to the official Classified website and I see his brother sitting there on the couch. I'm like, oh my God, that's my shoulder right beside him as he's sucking on a vapor bag. And the caption was like hanging out at some weird underground lounge after the CFL show. So
we're not underground,
yes.
We're above ground, buddy.
So I wrote my
We're
comment.
like 2 flights of stairs up, for God's sake. It's a 2nd floor with a business permit.
Exactly.
Well, there's nothing underground about us. In fact, everybody knows our name.
It's open to the public, yeah.
Everybody knows our name.
So I just made a generic comment on the photo on Twitter, like, you know, anybody can come to Vapor. Everybody's welcome at Vapor Central. Just remember to bring your own bud. And Karen's like, what, did they forget their weed? I'm like, no. I just wanted people to know we're not underground. And I didn't want to have to go like, we're not underground.
We're not underground, we're above ground. 2 floors
we are
up.
Definitely above ground.
2 floors up.
Yep. We're in the trees.
Yeah.
And we're less guilty than Rob Ford.
But yeah. So that was really cool.
And also the day before was, I hear we've had some Argonauts were here.
Yeah, there were a few clandestine Argos and Stampeders. I gave the Stampeders dabs,
right?
And they went into the Grey Cup heavily favored, so I dabbed them and they lost. Now I'm not saying it's connected.
I'm saying he's taking credit for the win.
It sounds like he's
Yeah.
Well, I told her before as the game started. I said, if the Stampeders win, I'm claiming it's the power of the dab.
Don't
if the
tell too many
Stampeders
people.
lose, I'm claiming it's the power of the dab. Either way, I went into this with a winning attitude.
Don't tell anyone you threw the game.
Oh yeah. So
Brady dabbed the stamps.
Yeah, Brady dabbed the stamps.
That's because there's no drug testing in the CFL.
Well, that's why Ricky Williams was
Well,
up here
they
for a
need
year.
players. They're not going to be picky.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Both Classified and the CFL players were sitting in that lovely
the
double
6-person
bench
area
seat on
or
our left that you
5-person
can see in the background.
men.
Those new couches are amazing. How many people are they legislated for?
I don't know.
It depends.
Depends on the size of the people.
I've seen up to 6 people squeeze in on each.
You could fit 10 Murnaws on one of those, but maybe half a dozen.
There's like
smashes.
5 on that couch right there.
Yeah,
there's 5 on that couch.
That's a good example. Yeah,
They
no,
look
there's 6
comfy
on that couch.
They look real comfy on that couch, don't
There's
they?
6 on that couch.
Is there 6? Oh, wow. They look real comfy on that couch, too.
Aaron
was
all
crowned.
Aaron was almost crowd surfing during the Mookie show. That's how packed it was in here that day.
It was very busy.
It was
on
weird. I was
Saturday
at a
night.
bar Saturday night in the neighborhood, my
yeah.
local place. Some guy, my other buddy Matt, sat down beside me, and he's played on the Vapor Central stage, which is weird to know these things. And he's like, "Yeah, I battled Mookie Wilson the last time Mookie did his show." I was like, but it started with, "Hey Matt, do you know this guy Mookie Wilson?" I was like, "Oh, I know Mookie," because like everybody knows Mookie, right? He's like, "Yeah, I battled him the last time I was here. He was in Toronto. He's doing a show tonight." I was like, "Oh, right."
Yeah, one of the guys that was hanging out with Classified was from the King of the Dot circuit. And we were talking to him about trying to get Organic to come out and do battles here, because I think they'd be really well received.
I think so too.
Battles, I'm a fan of them. It's fun to see people be so like quick
on the ball.
That show me on the Almo where the Almo touched you. That's the joke, Vapor Central.
Is that in regards to Kevin Clash having another third accuser now?
That show me on the Almo where the Almo touched you.
Chris played being Elmo for his daughter because Kevin Clash is Elmo.
Yep. Got to be careful.
It's a good thing it's his daughter, not his son.
Well, careful the Almo.
I wrote on Facebook that we were doing that Mookie Wilson was hosting a show here, and a friend wrote me from PEI said, "Man, can you get me an autograph? I still remember him playing for the Jays." I'm like, that's a different Mookie.
That's all right.
Like, not the same dude. Not the same dude.
Speaking of not the same dude, did you know that the city of Toronto has 3 Paul Magners?
What?
There are 3 Paul Magners in the city of Toronto. The first Paul Magner, the senior, is the guy who shut down Sunday shopping. So when the Magner thing came out versus Rob Ford, I was like, man, that guy's like 80 years old and he's still going. Totally different guy. Same first and last name.
Yeah.
So they interviewed the old guy. And he was almost like, that's not right. 2 people shouldn't have the same name. Like he was pretty upset that, some guy had the exact same name as him.
Aww.
And also very civically minded. It was confusing to a lot of people. Yeah. They actually did a story on the confusion.
What is going on with the 4D stuff? I didn't read up on it today. Has
he
reacted?
He gets a stay. He'll go to the Court of Appeal December 5th to seek the stay that I have. He'll probably get the same type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Then he has to present. Chances are it won't be overturned. But that'll keep him in office for 18 months.
Okay. So we got a while to organize your campaign.
Yeah, well, the next mayoral, run. The problem with the city of Toronto, same with the city of New York and major cities, you always get 50 dingbats on the ballot, so it's not worth running for mayor. What? I would rather expend my energy volunteering for somebody and putting the effort in to try and get somebody I support and want to be mayor to get elected and put the effort in campaigning for them.
So you would rather support a non-dingbat than be a dingbat?
Yeah.
But come on, you play the dingbat so well.
I do a very good job, but the problem is when you run for mayor, every other dingbat comes out.
But I need a winged dingbat to support.
The problem is you can't get attention if you're just the dingbat vote.
Dan for mayor, our local pot activist, made an admiral attempt at...
But he got no attention.
He didn't get much attention, but I think
that's
Dan
the only
for mayor,
reason the
dingbat
run.
There's a TV show with the same title helped his cause.
Yeah.
There's also a guy named Kevin Clark.
He's homeless, though.
Such a hassle, and he bugs Vapor Central all the time.
I know, he's homeless.
And posts spam on our different events, and we try to block him out of it, and it's so annoying.
I know.
See, this guy knows how to get attention. He wears Technicolor pants and threatens to take them off. And sometimes does.
This is
how you get attention.
I don't want to expend the energy. Everybody does runs for...
Come on.
It's expending energy that's not needed when we could expend energy getting someone elected that can do stuff for it.
Right?
No, my goals are getting elected, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goals are... I hate losing.
It's a matter of working smarter and not harder.
Right. That's the thing. I hate losing. I hate to tell everybody that. That's why I don't run. I'm like, well, I really hate losing, so I don't want to run on the dingbat vote if I can't be the key dingbat.
If you can't win at being the dingbat either.
Yeah, how do you determine? you know, everybody and their brother comes out and decides to run for mayor. Where I would rather help people I like get elected, which I have. I got 2 people elected, Andrew Cash and Jonas
you were
Shin.
waiting to support Jamie if you changed his last name to Trudeau.
That's right. If Jamie runs for the Freedom Party, but he changes his name to Trudeau, I am so running that campaign. 100% down with running the Jamie Trudeau campaign.
We'll have that all set up.
Because I realized, like, on the ballot, it would be J. Trudeau, right? Like, who's thinking for you, Goodwin, in the Freedom Party? I've been to 2 dinners. That's what you fed me. I'm like, dude, we changed this guy's last name to Trudeau. That's all it takes. 2 steak dinners in, and I already got you, like, at least 500 votes. At least, well, maybe 420, but I got you some good votes there just by changing the dude's last name. I got attention for your party.
Jamie actually did fairly well on his own with his own names.
I know, that's why we want to change his name, and then he'll be like, yes, I am the guy who ran this ad, but I realize.
Inflammation, but it still makes it 20% larger.
Yeah. Yeah. And he can come out and say, like, you know, I'm further down on the ballot this time, though, but I did change, you know. He'd come up with a few things and talk about the name change importance, and, like, he would blow it.
Cost involved.
You should find a girl with the last name Trudeau, hook them up, and then it will give it some legitimacy.
No, I think we don't want it to be too legitimate.
Because people are going to attack his character for changing his name like that.
No, because he's going to come out right out and say, the only reason I changed my last name was to get the attention for my candidacy. So, like, this is what my candidacy needed for the attention, and I know that people will vote just based on, like, we'll come right out and admit that this is marketing. It's perfect.
No one's
Rob Ford would do that, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So why are you not doing this? If that's what Rob Ford would do.
I have a few more, like,
come on,
scruple attention. That's, again, it falls under, like, you're not going to win. I want to win under
Jamie's
my own
further
name.
in the game.
But I just want you to run, just so I can say I'm like wingman. You know, then I'm a wingding. Yeah, if I'm wingmanning a dingbat.
Wing-banging?
A dingbat. I'm a wingding.
Well, you are a wingding.
Well, not officially unless you run.
Well, and the other thing is, if I were to run in my riding, I want to win. Again, it goes back to, like, the desire to win. Hate losing. Hate it. Why do you think I had a constitutional challenge all these years? I freaking hate losing.
Come on, you could win.
Freaking
You could
hate
get the
it.
6th vote. Just stop taking your meds. Have a seizure or 2. You'll pull in some votes.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
No, that won't get us votes. And it'll throw me out the can. The mayor oil thing is just not.
Nothing like a bruise for sympathy.
No, it's because we're doing quite well in the realm of politicking. Even the Freedom Party, you know, all jokes aside, does their thing. So we don't want to, like, you know, we don't want to joke it up too much. Trying to still be seen as serious political commentary, unless I take that career in porn, and then I'm just throw away the political career.
Also, with changing the last name, they'll ask you, what are your strategies? And you'll be like, I'm going to do everything it takes, including changing my last name. Just I'm willing to do everything it takes.
She's my assistant co-campaign manager to the Jamie Trudeau campaign. We're going to win the next provincial election. And all, you know, like I say, I have, like, you know, I can go for drinks with my nobody thinks of me as a wingding candidate, so I don't want to be that. They're like
dingbat candidate.
Wingding, dingbat, wingy ding.
You're the dingbat. I'm the wing
Ringy ding ding ding.
I'm confused now.
Anyway, so I don't want to, like, it's just like that song that the kid did about me on YouTube. I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook. You saw that.
But I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that.
Give me a recap.
I'm sorry, what?
It's on my Facebook. Nuggety Nugs Nugs Nug. Oh, no, it's Nuggety Nugs. Nugs Nuggety.
I think you should get good one loading that
Nuggety
one up
Nug
for an
Nugs
intermission.
Nugs.
There's
Nuggety.
a video about Murnaugh.
Well, it's a little bit about the dude, and I'm in there too, like,
There's a fanboy video about
it's
Murnaugh.
not the video. He only used the image of me, and then he raps on it. He does, like, a...
That's amazing.
He's how I got my papers, because I smoked the weed and it's legal. The police still harassed me. I spend the night. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nuggety Nug Nugs.
But you should have him on the show.
We'll get him on.
What?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Track
Nuggety
this
Nug
guy
Nug.
down and get
What's
him on
the
the
name
show.
of the artist?
It's on my Facebook.
We're working on it.
We're working on becoming like, wait till January when it's slow
Where's
season.
Jay Danger? We can get him on it.
Jay Danger is on it, but it's school season, as you know.
Yeah.
How's that going?
Pretty good. Studying for biochemistry right now.
Oh, okay. No. But, no, that sounds... Yeah, when Jay Danger's out of school, too, he will be doing the Myrnawana song. And it won't be the Myrnawana show. Do, 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 do. The Myrnawana show.
Do, do, do.
The Myrnawana show.
Do, 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 do.
You got that song. You saw that meme yesterday, too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please post to your Facebooks and your Twitters. Yeah, that the Myrnawana show is on. Let people know what we're up to. Also, if you have a Skype account, Skype friend Vapor Central to get on the show on the cam.
Yeah, the Skype segments have been working well. I like
Yeah,
them.
the Skype segments.
Yep.
So if you're in our chat and you want to Skype us, ringy ding ding.
Don't bother putting on pants.
Yeah, you don't have to put on pants if you're
We're not forcing you into pants. You can.
You're in your own space. Whatever makes you comfortable. And at 8 o'clock, we got Greg to give us the lowdown on the Amsterdam Cannabis Cup. He's here. Made it. I'm getting better every week. Notice how I said in the announcement, as best as potheads can plan? Because potheads,
That's true.
like, we're professional potheads here. We get to work mostly on time. We, work very hard at what we do to organize events and make sure that the events that we organize are properly organized, and we have great experience at putting on these things now. And if you're going to do these things, like have a lecture series at your school or invite me to your school, because lots of people want to invite me places, and I'm like, yeah, I'll go do that. And every time it generally works out, but occasionally when it goes south on me, I'm just like, you know what, I can't do this because, like, I'm sorry, man. Like, my time is limited. Like, last Thursday, I spent like most of the day in bed last Thursday and Saturday. So when you're missing time just because it's like, I'm not well enough, I'm going to have to spend the day in bed. I want the events that I go to be like, man, I'm just an added bonus. You've done such a good job that everybody's here, and I just have to sort of step up and do what you want me to do. And I hate to say that to people, but that's where it's getting to in life.
It's hard. Well, we've already posted our event page for 420, so we're getting ahead of the game. But you've always given, like Chris and I said, like, we need to plan and get organized, and obviously we want to put on a good professional front for all the public to see.
Yeah.
It is hard when people are doing things from out of town and they're not familiar.
Yeah.
So then they lose that knowledge of the familiarity.
But
then they could have asked. And
they had a local book it.
Yeah, that sucks.
So we're talking about stuff, but
on Thursday, Chris and I was trying to get Chris's schedule changed so he could take the time off to head out, but it's going to take much longer.
It's just brutal. Like, yeah, it's not even a quick trip where Chris can drip down, and and the response was fantastic. That it's almost worth booking a library at Young and Egg, or just to see what type
Marco
of the public.
Marco Ivancicevic has booked the Ryerson Theater that has some great new facilities to use.
And they're all affordable.
Yeah, especially on the weekends when they're like there's barely anything going on there.
Yeah, and people want events that are like that. Not it's a different vibe than when I speak here at Vapor Central. As I say, we're the Fox News of webcasting.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, yep.
Hudson Rules is on Skype Cam.
Who?
Hudson Rules is on Skype Cam.
He's interrupting a rant, but sure. You want to put him on? Put him on. Is he wearing pants? Ask him if he's wearing pants for his good one. Is he wearing pants? Put him on. Let's see if he's wearing pants.
It's cool that we can have people that usually travel the distance to come here.
Put him on.
Like Skyping in.
Skyping in. No more ranting, Ann Rand says. Yes. More ranting, because that's what we're good at.
Ranting.
40 minutes. It's actually in the schedule. Ask Jay Danger and Chris Goodwin who get the schedule as I work on it. It's the 40 minutes of ranting segment.
We have confirmed that he has no pants.
We've confirmed he's got no pants?
No pants.
Excellent. He's allowed on then.
Maybe he has weedy boxers.
The Myrnawana Show, a pants-free zone.
It is a pants-free zone. I wear pants, though.
One of our comics, Cal Post, was really excited about the Skype feature. I bet he'd be good at Skyping and ranting.
No, we should do that. Skyping and ranting is great. Everybody likes to Skype and rant.
Can you hear me?
Oh, you're a little loud, bitch. Oh, turn your speaking down.
Maybe a little feedback from my speakers there.
No feedback either. Did you get the link to the video to the Nuggety Nugs?
We don't have.
No, I haven't checked it out yet. But was it like a dubstep remix or something?
No, it's Nuggety Nugs. He's like a juggalo.
It's like a jingle.
A juggalo. You know, the juggalo.
A juggalo. Oh.
Wait, what's this about a juggalo song about your what?
Exactly.
Did
Nuggety
you miss this,
Nugs, Jay.
I was in the can during this. What was this?
There's like some kid online who's done a song about me, kind of. It's called Nuggety Nugs.
You didn't mention he was a juggalo, though.
He's kind of juggalo-ish.
Hey, Hudson, Goodwin here's wondering if you have a video stream that we could put up on the camera.
Unfortunately, I don't have a camera right now.
Well, how can we confirm that you're not wearing pants then?
You're just going to have to believe me.
That's not good enough for us.
We're setting the pants boys.
Would you like me to go out in the middle of the street, get arrested for not wearing pants?
Yes. Smash just said that. Anyway, so Hudson is going to go out in the middle of the streets of Oakville, pantsless. He's going to get himself charged, get himself arrested. We'll be in bail court with him tomorrow just to prove on the show he's not wearing pants. I don't think you'd get charged or anything. I think they just ask you where your pants are.
Yeah, I just told him some dude on the internet told me to do it.
That probably worked. I don't know. People are like, where's
I'm
your
trying
pants?
to look up this video, man, on YouTube, and all
Not
I'm getting
on
is like
YouTube.
bed bugs.
Just look on my Facebook page. Jesus. Amateur hour around here.
Amateur hour.
What are you talking about back there?
Hey, man, I gave you the idea to get Skype calls in.
That's true, you did. We appreciate you and your ideas muchly, Hudson. So thank you for getting this guy. And see how we changed the time so now you work all day and you can come home to this. You're not watching Rick Mercer, I see.
No, not really. I'm watching the Lang and O'Leary exchange.
All right, then.
Not the show?
You're not watching the show?
Well, I'm watching the show. Well, I've got two TVs.
Oh, he's got two shows.
Oh.
Look at this. He's brainiac. Anyway.
Multitasking.
Anyways.
Yeah.
What are you smoking?
Grape Escape, and I just had some Pink Kush.
Is that Grape Escape?
Yeah, man. It's a killer knockout indica, very good for late evenings. And the Pink Kush just kept me going all afternoon, so.
All right. Well, no, I got nothing. Welcome to the show, anyways. Thanks for ringing us in.
Thank you for adding me.
Chris Goodwin works the board at the back.
Well, of course. It's always good.
Goodwin works the board, and he stands beside Jay Ginger, and we congratulate. Goodwin does a great job on the board.
Of course.
Like I said, 8 o'clock we got Greg from Seed Testers. He's going to come on next. Got any good ideas on the Amsterdam Cannabis Cup? You've been to Amsterdam. What's your favorite cafe?
Actually, it's Cafe 420, but they don't normally get awards. The only coffee shop that I really enjoy that got an award this year was the Bush Doctor. And I can't remember which category it was in.
Did he win for BHO?
Yeah, the guy who was showing in BHO.
Yeah, I know him. Well, anyway.
Yeah. The Bush Doctor's actually a good quality shop.
Ford did not stomp on the Canadian flag. He wiped his bum with it. It's true.
Oh, those Europeans are crazy, but they'll still sell you hash.
Yeah. Anyways, Hudson, we'll get back to you in a bit because you're crackling and popping here. So, anyways,
no worries.
Thanks for calling in, and we'll if you're in the chat and you have a cam from Skype with.
That was me, guys. I'm sorry.
Well, anyways, if you have a Skype cam thing, that's what we want to see. And preferably you're a chick and you're not wearing pants.
We should have clarified earlier, but okay.
But I'll take any call.
Well.
Goodwin will take any call. He'll take any call.
That was good.
He'll talk to anybody. Just like when we do this show on the road. Anyways, where was I in ranting land? Was I ranting about?
Well, Ford.
Yeah, next topic. Oh, no, musical ride, no. Oh, the moon thing. Did you hear about the moon thing? And we played the clip earlier. You heard the moon thing.
They want to explode the moon.
They
get rid of it.
With a nuclear weapon.
To stop the tides.
And PMSing.
Yeah.
And to frighten the Russians. Anyways, it's been a long-running gag. Well, it turns out that a Freedom of Information Act request was put in about nuking the moon. Yeah. And documents from the Department of Defense were released. And the Department of Defense seriously considered blowing up the moon.
Why?
What? To scare the piss ants out of the Russians, of course. The Ruskies.
Okay.
The USSR. How many people were around when it was the USSR? Put up your
That'll
hand.
teach them.
That's it?
Yeah.
Shit.
The hammer and sickle, buddy.
I'll toke to that.
CCCP. What the hell did that stand for anyway?
USSR. That's what it clearly stood for.
Yeah, that's what it was on the jerseys, right? CCCP?
Yeah.
What the fuck did that stand for?
It was the crazy communist Central Party, I think.
Sounds legitimate.
Sounds right. No, we should call the Russian embassy, see what they're up to.
That'll be a friendly phone call.
Yeah, it is. CCPP is USSR in Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. It's
Makes sense.
undesirable. The jet water pipe guy's got attachments for vaporizing and all sorts of stuff coming, and he wants to do like a show when he's here for that.
Oh, they're coming?
No, on Skype.
Oh, okay.
My apologies.
I still say it. Nah, it's still acrylic.
I like it.
But you were gonna rip it.
I'm gonna rip it just because it's funny. It sounds like a toilet.
It does sound like. If anybody wants to use the toilet bong and wants to do it on the show, just bring up some nuggets right now. They can use it. I might.
Why are we using his opinion of it?
We don't use his opinion on anything.
All right.
He's from PEI.
You do. Oh yeah.
For what? Maybe food.
I helped write your book.
What book?
What do you mean, what book? You know the book. I remember sitting in the kitchen laughing about pontificating on different verbiage for couch lock.
Yeah, you got to come up with different verbiage for couch lock when you're writing 150 marijuana strains. You don't want to write 150 reviews that all use the word dank.
No. So one day we got real high, and I specifically remember him laughing at a few and writing them down. I just have no idea what the fuck they were. So I'm going to have to read this whole book just to find them, just so on the odd page I can go, oh yeah, I remember saying that one.
Did I write them down and use them?
You wrote a few down. You also told me a few were stupid, so...
I usually do that to people.
I don't remember which was which.
That's just stupid.
You were also working on pre-addressing cards from Amsterdam.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Amsterdam, we'll have Greg from Seed Testers on the show next in 10 minutes. Hope he's ready.
I hope he knows more about the banana bar.
Hope he's ready.
He knows nothing about the banana bar. He wasn't there.
It should have been part of the cup. If it wasn't part of the cup, shame on High Times. Shame on them.
It's drinking. That's what the issue is with it, you know. You know, my friend is going back to Amsterdam to get her Christmas card signed.
Excellent.
I kid you not. It's working pretty. Oh, here's something good. Yeah, Matty
Water
Oliver
level is higher than
I
desired.
hadn't used that before. I was going to give it an old turn. And I just wanted to let all our customers know that we just got in a package of the freshest, tastiest chocolate chip cookies you could ever imagine.
Sounds excellent.
So if you want like a warm, melt-in-your-mouth cookie, get to the back.
See this guy right
Only
here.
$2.50.
You're a perp.
Hey,
What's the biggest?
Hey, I know how to throw a catch
a
line.
cookie. Yeah.
Get your cookie in the back.
Get your cookie in the back.
See how many people are exodusing to the back?
Exodusing?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Warm cookies
We
in
get
the
creative
back.
and have
That's
fun here on
excellent.
the Myrnawana Show.
How many Red Bulls have you had today?
None? Oh, wait a minute.
No, this is a can
Man,
of beer in my
you're
head.
the Cookie Monster. And that's, cookies are sometimes food. Oh, is that Pat? Hand me the grinder. Hand me a grinder.
Sesame Street was canceled,
Man, it's
wasn't
crazy.
it? So now it's a
grinder is needed, you say?
Yeah.
Well, I could go to the back and or go to the side and.
Holy Jesus, like amateur hour. Total cookie pushing me. Holy Jesus.
Still not moving.
It's crazy doing the night show now like this. It's good times.
Bro.
I've been. Don't even answer that. I got my next point. That's how ranting works. That's why it says Myrna rants, and then I put a bunch of topics in there, and then you can get in on this. But since 2006, since 2006, I read this in Lawyer Weekly, and these are statistics provided by Alan Young's Innocence Project, who also represents Vapor Central. Go figure. He checked Harper's record, and I got to pull these numbers up because you know how I am with statistics.
Accurate.
Not very until I read them. 41 new criminal offenses Stephen Harper has created. 41 new criminal offenses. How do you create new crime? Doesn't
41.
crime create itself? I'm confused. 41 new criminal offenses. What are these new crimes?
Can we look them up?
Yeah, I guess if we wanted to go that far, it's going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Huh.
41 new criminal offenses.
What are
Lawyer
you
Weekly.
Trying to do a CP24 impersonation today? You're just going to give me a highlight
Well,
and then just not bother to tell. Yeah, there's 41. Yeah, you can look them up if you want to.
Playing
I
ball
don't know what
hockey
they are.
is
There's
one
just
of them,
41.
probably.
There's 41 new criminal offenses since 2006. Stephen Harper.
Hey, Matt, do you know what they are?
No.
No.
Hold on a second. I'm not done yet. You're interfering. And this is where our show differs from... In Jeremiah's show, he would know. If I was Jeremiah Vandermeer, he would fucking bring the statistic to you, and he would tell you everything. I'm the Myrnawana show. I am all about ranting and craziness. Because the craziness of nuking the moon and creating 41 new criminal code... or criminal offenses... People are like, yeah, whatever. That's so not true.
So maybe nuking the moon now is illegal, or playing ball hockey on the streets.
Playing ball hockey in the street might be illegal.
That may be a new one.
Crap, I gotta get to that point, but we'll get to that point at 9 o'clock. Also, Stephen Harper, since 2006, has amended the criminal code 27 times.
That's
now,
a lot.
to put it, it is a lot. To put it in perspective, Parliament usually makes a few changes to the criminal code every decade.
Wow.
Man, sounds
So
like
you're
that
just going
Rick
unchecked?
Perry guy in Texas. 1,500 laws in like 4 years. That's 300 laws a year, or one new law a day. That's a pretty good
a lot of
average.
decades.
That's a pretty good fucking average.
Bullshit.
Like, what are these new laws, the boy says? I bet you it relates to, like, getting grounded and staying out.
Ball hockey laws? Oh, that's Rob Ford, wasn't it?
No, that was, like, I forget what government that, or...
Do you think that's his mandatory minimums? Like that'd be rewritten somehow?
Well, there's a lot of his stuff's in there. Mandatory mins and all these other crimes that he's got. But that's a lot. A lot. Maybe Jeremiah can look it up for us. I don't know. This is the Myrnawana show. We're like the Fox News of webcasting for a week. That's our goal in life. The Fox News of webcasting.
I think you should be more like the Vice.
That does makes you want to go have a shower, doesn't it?
What are you talking about? I'm not responsible for anything I say.
Well, I like that. I don't like being compared to Fox News, though.
That's Fox's motto. We are not responsible for anything that happens from any of the content that is viewed on any of our channels.
I think theirs is fair and accurate, but ours would be like stoned and dethroned.
Stone Thrones?
Stoned and dethroned.
High and awry.
I like the word stone, so you got to go with that. Hand me the bowl of that thing. Jet water pipe. That thing freaking rocked. Anybody in the house want to do a jet water pipe rip?
Oh, I think that's what he came up here for.
Maddie knows.
Anybody? Anyone else want to do the jet rip?
Those young boys are not here.
Oh.
No one else wants to take a free bong hit?
No free bong rips?
What's this called?
No
the
free
jet
bong
water
rips?
pipe.
The jet water pipe. If anybody wants to give this jet water pipe a try, it will be filled.
Yeah, everyone's
Come up to the front. Well, I'm going to smoke with it.
Oh.
To the next person.
Slow down.
So the next week's. Harder, harder, rip it harder. Rip it harder. Keep ripping it. Oh, yeah!
Very nice.
What'd you think?
That was fun.
Is that thing not cool or what? You want to hit of that?
Remember, gotta cough to get off.
Yeah. Next week, Goodwin, for the show, make a mental note of this. For next week's show, at the front, we want like a list that people can like pre-sign up for like, hey, I want to participate, and they can pre-sign up, and then Day Danger can say stuff like, come on down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Come on down to the marijuana show. Yeah, be like.
I'll wear my
Like
glasses.
the announcer on The Price is Right. That's what I was actually thinking of earlier when
Bob
he was
Barker and
speaking. Just that awesome voice.
Yeah, so we can do that.
Comes from somewhere.
Float it on down. You're the next stoner on Matt. Like, oh my lord.
So next week, we'll collect people's names of who want to participate.
I like this idea.
I like this idea too.
So it's like almost like signing up
You're
for
gonna
your
tell them
song.
what participation means?
Oh yeah.
Doing a bong rip.
Doing a bong rip or
On
winning
camera.
a book.
You're not gonna show up. Yeah, have you promised not to show up with sex toys?
Listen, dude, you
What?
were not here when we had the crazy drag queen doing bingo on this stage, okay? You didn't. Yeah. Shirley's Dirty Bingo was here. That chick gave away penis pumps. She gave away the butterfly thing for chicks. I mean, there is nothing like a dirty, filthy, like, you think my show's filthy. Man, a dirty, dirty drag queen named Shirley, and she was mean, and just like, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. And the best thing was she loved Chad. She had a really good thing for Chad's behind. Oh, yeah, this was even before Aaron Goodwin worked for us. I mean, this was in the early days of weddings, parties, and drag queens. These were the days when, instead of having ID, it was like, nah, they look okay to me.
The early days.
The early days.
Trying to see what face Goodwin's making right now. I can't see through the fog.
And were you here for Shirley's Dirty Bingo?
I was here for Shirley's Dirty Bingo.
It just seems so long ago.
Why is there no video?
She used to do it at the Artful Dodger at the bar out in the corner as well.
Oh, she's doing it in the neighborhood again.
And we still get people that were, not as often, but there were people afterwards for a while that were requesting it. But, yeah.
Screw karaoke.
Some
Let's
people
get that
would
back.
get uncomfortable. Some of the young men would get uncomfortable when she would target them.
Yeah.
But you could win some really cool sex toys, like expensive ones.
Like, yeah, real expensive
That's a nice
ones.
perk.
It was cool. One of the old employees, was bragging
Cleaned
about how
house.
she had lots of good stuff.
Clean house.
Sam's back there going, why is everyone looking at me?
Sam did pretty good, too. And she wasn't an employee at the
But
time.
Sam's been hanging out at Vapor Central since day one, so
Pretty close.
she's been, of
No
all
one
the
do the math
employees,
on that
she's
one.
been around as long as Chris, pretty much. You're here for Sam, Lady.
Oh, you can hear her
at
laughing
Lady
in the back.
Sam-a-lot.
Yep.
This is an
Long-time
accomplishment.
employees.
All right, so we want to switch it. Greg, do you want to come up? You want to come up and do the show?
Goodwin's
Well, they'll
actually
sit
gonna
around
play a
there.
quick
They'll be
clip.
around. Oh, Goodwin's going to play a clip?
Yeah, Goodwin's gonna play a clip.
All right, so dude, you got a chance before Goodwin, and we'll do the... All right, do it up.
Under the emerald haze at a marijuana bar in downtown Toronto, there's one man who's had a front row seat to what we've uncovered in Canada's medical marijuana program. Meet Matt Murnaugh.
It's the Marijuana Show, going live today from Vapor Central. How you guys out there today?
He's passionate about exposing how Health Canada is penalizing patients. He even hosts an internet radio show.
We encourage our group over here to come out and talk about medical marijuana. That's what we're going to talk about today. The RV Myrna ruling.
This is a fight. This is Rocky Balboa versus Mr. T. This is, UFC George St. Pierre versus Machida. This is a fight, and we're going to do it again at Court of Appeal. It's a fight.
Bring it on.
Bring it, 100%, bring it on.
Awesome. I love that clip. Rob Ford should give me a call. I know how well fighting. I'm here with Greg from Seed Testers. It's good to see you.
Hey,
I have a
good.
funny, interesting story how we met. The weirdest story, actually, of any people meeting each other. Listen to this. So I'm in Amsterdam. I'm jet-lagged a bit. And I'm walking through the Jordan because that's what they say. One of the things to do, the Jordan is a nice neighborhood in Amsterdam. It's a great place to just stroll and get rid of your jet lag and have a quieter day.
Yeah.
And we went into what coffee shop was it? The coffee shop?
It's Coffee Shop Spirit. It's a little local coffee shop in Amsterdam on Westerstraat, but they have, 6 pinball machines, 7 pinball machines, some aliens and pirates.
We've got the aliens there.
Yeah, and go-kart racing at the front or something.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
So I was really high at the time. I have to admit that to you. We were really stoned. And you came across the street and you're like, excuse me. I was like, my first response, because you're from Toronto originally, and you speak really good English.
Yep.
So you're like, excuse me, and my first thought is like, buddy, I am as stoned and as fucked up as you are. I cannot give you directions. and then you're like, are you Matt Myrna? And like the two people I'm with were almost peed themselves. Like, I traveled a whole continent away across an ocean, and then we ran into each other.
Yeah, it's cool. I had been following your show for a while, and some of your writing as well previously. And my wife and I were sitting at a cafe just looking across the street, and I'm like, that looks like Matt Myrna. And I ran across the street, and lo and behold, here we are a couple months later.
So it's good to see you again. You're in Toronto. So let's see. What should we talk about a bit? Go over that summer. We did my birthday. We celebrated my birthday together.
That's right.
We did 8 coffee shops that day.
Yeah, that was nuts. And I think Ed Borg from Delta 9 Studios took you on a tour as well, and showed you some of the fine stuff in Amsterdam.
Yes, they did. It was a great tour of your city. It's a beautiful city to live in.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have the perception that it's an absolutely huge city because it gets lumped in with the Toronto, the New York, the London, but it's really small. I mean, it probably encompasses just the U shape that we have here in the subway line, right? Just like the southern part of Bloor is kind of, that's Amsterdam. It's small.
Yeah.
So it's cool to bump into people, and it's
a very small towny kind of that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a village. We have daily markets, and most people who grow weed are just called kwekers, which are farmers. So it's cool.
We saw people like growing plants right on a major street in their apartment. They're like, hey, look at the pot plants up there. I'm like, whoa, those guys aren't hiding that at all.
Yeah, it's been interesting there because cannabis is not legal in Amsterdam. Technically, cannabis is not legal.
No.
If the government wanted to shut it down that one day, they could, and that was threatened a little while ago with the weed pass, which said that foreigners could not come in. So if Matt came to visit again in Amsterdam and the weed pass was enacted, I could go in because I have a Dutch residency, but Matt would have to stay outside while I bought the weed for us, and then we went back to my place, hilariously. That's been canceled. That's over, and it happened just before the Cannabis Cup, so that's a major announcement, is that there is no more weed pass.
No more
Holland.
weed pass.
The only exception is in the town that started the weed pass, Maastricht, which is in the south of Holland. It borders on Germany and France. Apparently, these people started the weed pass not because of cannabis, but because they could no longer park their cars because people were coming to go to the coffee shops. They would drive into Maastricht from France or Belgium or Germany, park their cars all day long, pay for the parking, go to 13 coffee shops, collect their 65 grams because you can only buy 5 at each coffee shop, and drive back to their country. They would take up parking spots for the whole day. So the locals lobbied the mayor. They figured this thing out, or they created this weed pass concept that in effect threatened what we come to know as coffee shops. That information comes from Noel Van Schaik, who is really the crusader over there.
Yeah, it was great news to see prohibition rescinded yet again or fought back. I mean, you guys had an election and it's looking pretty scary there for a bit.
Similarly to what happened with Rob Ford in the last couple of days, our government sort of got ousted as well for a few things, and we had an election, and now we have sort of a split left-right, but they're dealing with things, and one of the compromises was let people continue to smoke weed.
Imagine that, like having to get along politically and be like, well, we on the left, we want to still smoke weed. All right, we'll give you that if you give us this one. Okay.
Crazy, but it's true.
That's what minority governments are supposed to do. Let me see. Oh, there's some stuff in the chat already, and already it's going on, yeah. You grow marijuana, so...
Yes.
Okay. That is the difference. You're unlike when I went. I wanted to sample the weed at the coffee shop so I knew what it was, and I will call it as I see it.
Yeah.
Only Katsu and one other place around, Space Mountain. Those two guys had fantastically well-grown weed.
Yeah.
It burned correctly.
Yeah.
Places like Greenhouse, it was like they didn't know how to flush if their life depended on it.
Yeah.
What's up with the, like, is it just they sell so much weed that it's, like,
Yeah,
what's going on there?
Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to change some names to protect the innocent, but what you experienced is what a lot of people experience, and weed's expensive in Amsterdam. Weed's
like
really
15,
Am I allowed to swear? Yeah.
Yep.
Really,
I swear.
Really fucking expensive. You go into Barney's or Greenhouse, and you will pay a minimum of 13 to 14 per gram. If you want something like a really high haze, like a Neville's Haze, or something like a flavor of the day, you know, Matt Gregg, OG Ghost something,
yeah.
You're going to pay $18 at some of the bigger ones, 16, 17, 18. It's starting to get a little bit expensive. And what's happening is a lot of people are just in it for the money. So you have the people that grow for the love, and a lot of those people supply to places like Katsu, Space Mountain, Paradox, the local small coffee shops.
And Paradox is really nice.
Awesome. I mean, Ludo at Paradox knows so much about hash that if you like hash, that's the place to stop in and test it out and talk to him. People have really just gone for the money. There's so much money going through those big coffee shops. I paused because I've observed, and I'm not sure I'm supposed to say what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it. Some of the coffee shops that open early in the morning, the big commercial ones, between their opening time 7 or 8 o'clock and 11 or 12, they'll sell 40,000 euros worth of cannabis.
Well, there's no doubt about. I mean, it's a $400 million euro industry.
Yeah,
it is very valuable to your city.
Very valuable. So Matt, you and I had the pleasure of visiting Soma while we were in Amsterdam, and he's been growing for a really long time, and he's really critical. So it's always interesting to bring my weed to him and say, "What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" I've also had the privilege of seeing him criticize other people's cannabis, and there's one lesson that he writes about in his book that rings true through Amsterdam that you see. As soon as you start letting your pocketbook or your wallet making your decisions for you on how you're going to grow your weed, then you should just stop growing weed.
That was the one thing when we met Soma. That was the one thing he told me. He's like,
yeah.
That was the only thing. I was like really high at the time, and you bring it up again, and it's like, don't let the pocketbook manage your grow up.
You were there the same day those guys with the big bag showed up?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. That was that Candy Kush.
Yep.
So, Matt and I had the privilege of seeing Candy Kush in a larger amount. And also, I've grown Candy Kush. I don't know if you've grown Candy Kush, but you expect those things to look like golf balls, like these little Kinder Surprise and dense like that. These guys brought it in, and it was airy, like something that has gone through a vaporizer. You can put your finger through it. And the one thing about moving from here to Holland is the Dutch are really direct. So now I have no problem telling anybody, like, what did you do to this? Did you stop feeding it? Or my question was, how hot was your room?
Yeah,
Because it looked like it just like popped open. And they just let their pocketbook make the decision. So they cranked up the energy in the room, turned down the nudes, stopped feeding it, and then they've got a subpar product.
Yep.
So, yeah, like money front, you know, seeing the wholesale side, there's a wholesale side of the business that's the illegal side of cannabis in Amsterdam or in Holland, which is how the weed actually gets to the coffee shop. Nobody knows about that. It's called the gray area, not the coffee shop, the gray area, but the back
But yeah,
door.
there's got to be someone's got to be wholesaling the there's got to be a middleman somewhere.
Yeah, there are middlemen all over the city, and after a while, comically, you can kind of see them riding their bicycles around, and you know who they are if you hang out at a lot of coffee shops. So the price per kilo, everything's traded on kilo. You know, for a subpar product, guys come in and they say they'd like X amount, but literally they're going 1/5. So we're talking about 5,000 a kilo. Then their product is so subpar that the offer goes down to 1,000. So as soon as they start letting their decision be made based on what they have in their wallet, the end product's going to be shit, and then they don't get their return. And that goes for farming anywhere. I mean, it's not just weed; it's anything you grow.
It's like they didn't know how to. I mean, and I went to Barney's, and the thing at Barney's in 2 nights, I dropped over 100 euros. And kind of like one of the other things I also know. Oh, you want to try some of that in the vape, or?
So yeah, Matt, on the My Growing Weed front, I have this little blog that I started a while ago. We can
seedtesters.com.
Seed Testers. It's been quiet for the last week because I've been hanging out here and not really posting stuff. But the stuff that I grew was Chocolate Kush from DNA.
Nice.
So that's that. Let's try some of that. There's Cantaloupe Haze. So Matt, we'll let you make the choice. So Chocolate Kush, Cantaloupe Haze, Shoreline.
Let's try the haze.
The haze?
We could use some haze. I just smoked that indica there. So.
Okay, so the one super haze that I grew was called Ghost Train, and today I traded it for somebody's local Arcata train wreck. So if
nice,
you want to,
let's try that.
Let's go for the train wreck because it looks amazing. But yeah, I grow organic on my balcony only. So yeah.
You're up 4 flights of stairs, by the way.
Yeah, Matt's been to my place, and you climb really high up. Yeah, it's 4 flights. It's crazy. So I've this
Welcome
summer
to Amsterdam.
Oh jeez.
You know the thing? I did the church tower. What's that tower? It just skips my name. By Anne Frank's house.
Oh yeah, the Westerkerk.
Yes.
The Western Church.
The Western Church. So I did that on the very last day I was there. First thing in the morning. It's the first guy up that flight of stairs. And the guy, I was climbing the stairs, and they tell you in advance, like, hey, just, you know, these stairs were built in the 1600s, and they were built for small people. And the guide was like, wow, you have been in Amsterdam for a while. You know how to climb some stairs. And I was like, yeah, I've gotten used to it now. But
yeah.
It is a challenge. You got to be careful when you're getting high if you're going back to your hostel and you have to climb up narrow stairs like this, and they're going on an angle like that. So these are the things about Amsterdam people need to know.
Yeah, prepare.
And bring a big pocketbook. Because I was sort of like, at Barney's, I spent, like I said, 50 euros each night easily, and I was buying lots of strains, and I bought grinders, so that was one of the biggest places I ultimately ended up at. And his weed, even though it's, dude, these are your strains, Pineapple Express, like, I have grown your own weed better.
Yeah. And it's not unusual because, you know, the guys that run Barney's and the guys that run the greenhouse are not the guys growing it. They've moved on to
They're also moving 40,000 euros in marijuana
morning, you know?
in the morning. That's a big grow somewhere.
Oh yeah, I mean Ariane has openly said, Ariane who runs the greenhouse has openly said he has 1,000 lights burning for Amsterdam.
Wow.
You know, that's just, you can figure that out. So he's got 1,000 lights burning, and he's one coffee shop owner. There are still 300 or so coffee shops in Amsterdam alone. You still have all of Holland. So there are lots of people growing it. They're rushing it. And there are places that really, you know, value the quality. So Katsu, absolutely.
Katsu was one of the best finds.
Absolutely, from quality perspective. Now, on the Barney's front, I'm also a DJ for Barney's. And
it's the best vibe, though. Don't get me wrong. This is the
go.
coolest place to go.
There you go.
And has the same quality weed as everybody else there. I should point out that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, they also have the seed. I mean, you kind of go to these seed shops and you're like, man, we're having some bum luck with our Barney's Farm Acapulco Gold, where we germinated 1 out of 5.
Oh, I grew that last year. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, you want to tell us about it now?
Okay.
Jack's sitting right there. Acapulco Gold, Barney's Farm.
Okay, so we'll cover the coffee shop thing because I do want to really
cover the coffee shop thing.
I want to really pay respect to the guys at Barney's and at the greenhouse who are running the big operations, because ultimately they're the ones who are really pushing for the legalization and the normalization and have the money to go up against the Prime Minister and say, we're going to fight you. And much respect to that.
Oh, yeah.
And they're also the ones who are promoting it. But the business gets so big, it's the difference between shopping at your local organic corner store and going to the giant superstore. But the vibe, absolutely. One of the coolest vibes. You can stay there late. You can, if you drink beer, which I don't, but you can go to a bar, take your weed, and your friends who drink can drink, and you can smoke. It's the coolest, and they throw great parties and good vibe.
The greenhouse was a good vibe, but Barney's was definitely the music there is spot on.
Hey, thanks, man.
Just everything that. But again, if you're going to Amsterdam, be prepared for. Well, the thing is, I guess we're a bit pot snobs here. Like, I can get weed easy. Like, there's 4 compassion clubs right on Wellesley. Like, it's easy for me. I can grow my own. So I have high standards, but.
That's a 2-minute warning to 420.
Thanks, buddy.
So that's the other interesting thing, too, is because what I brought with me this time, I brought with me the strains that I grew, not brought with me. They found their way into Canada somehow.
Yep.
But I brought this container, which is government-issued cannabis. This is the only cannabis that you can get issued by the government in Holland. It's called cannabis floss, which means that it's the flower-based instead of ground-up stuff. And they sell it by the 5-gram bit at the apotheke. So at the pharmacy, when you have a prescription, you can go and you can buy 5 grams of basically a Jack Lemon Cross. So it's a Jack Herrera Lemon Cross. They tested it at 19%. It gets you pretty tweaked. I mean, I love sativas. Yeah, sorry, man. It's not actually in the pack because this was an old one. I see bongs coming up here. Matt, I promise next time I roll through, we'll get that somehow. We'll get the.
Well, I might have to go to Amsterdam on a fact-finding Canadian mission.
I think you can get sponsored for that, can't you? By some.
We want you to do. You have to go through in Holland for medical cannabis and.
Yeah, that's a good question. This was my first year approaching it. For my life, I've had really severe IBS. My family has a history of stomach diseases and stuff, and I get really bad migraines. So here, I tried to pursue it before I moved to Holland, and it's tough.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough, especially if you look very functional, like most of the people in this place. And, we're having a good time. Maybe I want to go to sleep a little early, and I didn't get a migraine today because I medicate as I need to.
Yeah.
But in Holland, you get 2 very differing opinions about medical cannabis.
Any minute now.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's 4:20. Where, Jay?
Ladies and gentlemen, well, not quite yet.
Oh,
look, I just woke up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now 4:20 in Anchorage, Alaska. This 4:20 has been brought to you by cannabis. That little kick of spice that makes life extra nice. Back to you, champ.
Thanks, buddy. This is the Nuggets guy.
For you, help me for more if you got the cash. I live on bare essentials. Literally, I'm a broke fuck. I could make money off what I do, but 5 times a day I smoke up. Constantly look like I just woke up. Rolling up the nuggety nugs. I just broke up. Take the toke, what? It's medicinal quality. If it came from me, accept no imitations. $10 a G. 9 bills for a
no medical marijuana card required.
No medical marijuana card required.
Yeah,
so let's go with your medical marijuana card, shall we?
Yeah, so here's that's a great question. What did I have to do in Holland to get my medical certification?
Yeah, licensed, I guess.
I'm not a licensed grower, so we'll separate the two. It's really different there. There's medical cannabis, so if you want to be a medical cannabis user, you have to go to the pharmacy and get it. That doesn't exclude me from going to the coffee shop and trying all the fantastic strains available, but what it does is I can go and reliably get the exact same strain. So the story is that Sensi Seeds back in the day donated some plants to Bedrocan, who grow legally cannabis in Holland. They grow 4 different strains, a sativa, an indica, a mixture ground up version, which is more for really inexperienced users or somebody that wants to cook with it.
Inexperienced. we got some beginner weed.
Some Snickle Fritz for the newbies.
Yeah. And then they have they've come up with a higher CBD version, right?
Right.
So the one that I get is a sativa version. But basically, you have to go to your doctor, as you would here. And it's simpler in that you have to ask for a prescription. However, Dutch doctors are not as maybe hands-on or as compassionate as Canadian doctors. This sounds strange to say, but they're very direct people.
Right.
They are.
So yeah.
Dutch will cut you down in a heartbeat.
It really depends on who your doctor is, because I've heard that you will go to a doctor and you will ask for a prescription for cannabis, and they'll look at you and say, "Are you dying?" Like literally, they'll look at you and say, "Are you dying?"
Wow.
And because everybody knows you can just walk to the coffee shop and buy the cannabis. The price is about the same.
The price is about the
seriously. It's about
well, it's definitely something people are going to consider.
Yeah, it's $11 a gram. So I did it for a couple of reasons. One, I've been fighting for the whole medical cannabis thing for a really long time, so it was very important to put that stake in the ground. Also, with the impending weed pass coming, I, as an expat living in Holland, had to really consider how am I going to protect my right to use cannabis for medicinal purposes and for recreational purposes, and that was a good avenue to go down. But I have a good doctor that I've shown her what I've written. She knows I grow my own weed. I have no problem saying that because I keep within the legal limits or the tolerated limits. And she wrote me a prescription, and now it's on a refill basis. So the great thing I learned recently is there's a way to ship your cannabis around the world by getting the Ministry of Agriculture in The Hague to basically approve you shipping your product with you around. So I didn't do that this time, but next time I'm flying back to Canada, I'm going to make sure that I test that to see if that transferring of your medicine works.
Really?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah,
for sure. I definitely want to try it. It's we'll see, Matt.
Well, you know, maybe the Dutch government can send me some of those genetics, because you can't get seeds legally. I'm kind of screwed for seeds technically. Like I got dinged already once for an agricultural offense of trying to bring in seeds.
Oh, bringing them back to Canada, you mean? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
but I had them shipped anyways. But this was a different, not my latest trip. I've just got seeds from Dynafem, by the way, that are
okay. Yeah.
I got Dynacam, which is new. They're OG.
Yeah.
They're Dynacam, yes. They're Chem Dog something.
Yeah.
They're OG Kush, and some other Kush. So I
So-
do, but sometimes I do get caught in I get a note from the Canada Customs. Hey, this is you're bringing seeds into the country. It's illegal. But it's an agricultural offense, not a criminal code offense.
Absolutely. There's no THC on it, right? So you've not yet.
It's illegal to have marijuana seeds, but I'm allowed to have. So it's weird. They're like, no, seeds are. You're trying to bring in a foreign plant into our country.
Right.
So I need the. You know how the tulip bulbs get here and all the bulbs? They get here by a custom. See, I know these things.
Hit me up
they
because
get
I don't
them
know.
through a custom stamp. So they pre-check them in Amsterdam, all the tulip bulbs. I had 2 boxes. My friend had 2 boxes of 100 sent to her, and 2 boxes of the extra 100 sent to her were sent with the American Customs, not the Canada Customs.
Okay.
So Canada Customs destroyed them. And she just has to send them a note. Hey, we didn't know, blah, 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 made a mistake. But clearly there has to be somebody, maybe Sensei, that is willing to say, hey, that is really, whoa.
It's sharp haze, eh?
Yeah.
Well, you asked for it. You said haze, let's do it. I mean, my eyes are getting a lot clearer now. You know.
I'm pretty. I'm not tingly. Are you tingly?
I'm tingly. And I'm guessing that the person that grew this might be watching this, so... Great work, man. Great work.
Great work.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm thinking
Holy
lucid
shit.
now, man. I'm tingly.
So he's he actually, you can read about some of his stuff in the last Treating Yourself magazine and the next Treating Yourself magazine. It's written by Ed Borg of Delta 9, and it's about aeroponics, but the aeroponics experiments are actually happening here in Canada.
Nice.
So get to visit and test some of that product, and holy shit, that's some train wreck.
That is train wreck. We'll send that this way and see what they think.
So you asked earlier about the what was it, Acapulco Gold, right?
Oh yeah, let's already talk about seeds and how we went 1 for 5 with Sensei with Barney's Farm. I mean, it happens.
It happens. I had the same.
I was gonna write to them and be like, but then the issue is I get them for free. So
yeah.
Like you're like, can't really, and it could have been like I got them in Toronto, like. anything. And then we went 4 for 5 with the LSDs. But yeah, I got all 4 phenotype problems with that too.
Okay, let's talk about seeds a little bit. So
Let's.
I tried.
You're from seedtesters.com, by the way.
Yeah. So I run a little blog called seedtesters.com. I write under the name Moon Greens. That's my handle. I garden by the moon. Right. So take a pause. Look at the way the moon pulls the gravity of the plants, and I harvest and grow by the moon. So my handle's Moon Greens. I had a blog a couple of years ago on Tumblr, until I realized Tumblr was no unique information, so I didn't want to keep posting my shit up there. So started a blog called Seed Testers, and had experience and know a bunch of the guys in Amsterdam who have a bunch of the seeds. So Barney's was one of the companies that contributed last year, and we tried to grow out the Acapulco Gold.
What did you learn?
Oh, what did I learn? I've
almost killed it twice or 3 times now.
It
just keeps coming back. At least I give it credit for that.
Yeah, hands down. So we could talk about the state of the seed industry, but specific to that genetic, I had success with only 2 out of the 5, and out of the batch, I got 1 male.
Okay.
From a 5 batch of feminized seeds.
Ooh.
So I also had 1. Now,
how did that live?
Well, the male's gone.
How did the female live?
The female's still alive, and this was grown last spring. Check this out. The Acapulco Gold, a lot of seed companies are making their seeds in Spain now. A lot of seed companies also still have some old school genetics.
Yeah.
So these old school genetics might be landrace varieties that they've brought over with them 5, 10, or even are still getting made in India, South America, whatever. The Acapulco Gold, I suspect, was an old seed.
Me too.
But the one that's still growing...
It's also a very old strain.
It's a very old strain. Did yours also never turn really, really dark green? It stayed more of a hay yellow the whole life, or it turned green, but it would always go back to hay yellow, like you were burning it or something?
Yep.
You guys have that too? That's crazy. Okay.
It happened to me too. Shut up over there. Yeah. It looks like it's dying all the time. It's like, oh, put me out of my misery.
So
wait, here it is. You gave me too much newts yesterday, so now I'm upset with you. A couple days later, you give it less newts. You gave me not enough newts yesterday, so now I'm upset with you. Like it just didn't. It was like the most finicky woman you've ever met.
I think it's So what I learned last year.
What's your job about over there?
Yeah,
it's a female plant. You smoke only the female marijuana. The male is useless. So if I say it was like the most finicky woman you ever met, I could be talking about either a chick or a marijuana plant, right?
Correct. And
exactly.
The Acapulco Gold definitely falls into that category.
Oh, my God. Dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had it at a time when it was nowhere green. It was like the yellow of the top of the Bedrocan container. So what I did is I donated it to a friend who is actually a really good gardener, was not growing any cannabis at the time, but had a bunch of other plants. He had it. I gave it to him, and I never heard. This spring, so a full year later, he sent me photos via WhatsApp or some online. So I get these photos, and I'm like, oh, what's that? He's like, that's the Acapulco Gold. I was like, holy shit. So they ended up partially harvesting it last year, let it go through the winter. It was light poisoned via, they had it in their window, and a street light on it. They kept it going till this year, and he's gone through a second flowering season.
Wow.
So here's what I learned, is that there are these strains that are old school sativa genetics that will perpetually grow, and they will usually go over a season. They'll go a year and a half, approximately 2 years, but that's native. I think the problems that you and I had are, A, it's a really old genetic and maybe very old seeds, but also finicky as fuck. You're talking about a plant that's used to growing in a really standard environment. Here we are. I mean, you might be doing it indoors, I might be doing it outdoors in Amsterdam, but this one took a lot of love. Yeah, so... Yeah. Now,
like, I still want to clone it, kind of, and continue to try, but just for the sake of trying. But
yeah, I'd like to as well. It's kind of.
I don't know what to do with it.
Give it away. Take a cutting. Give it to some friends. Yeah.
Well, it would help if you didn't use pots that were too small and didn't over-fertilize them and flush them properly. But that's just a few generations of agricultural background speaking here. The only reason those chemos survived is because I flushed them every day for a week while you were gone. Friggin' neon green stuff coming out of cocoa.
That's what
cocoa, which isn't even supposed to be able to hold that much. pH 5 coming out? That's bad. That's bad.
We had a pH 5 on one of our plants.
On flush. on flush.
But you don't even know what you're talking about there.
What were you guys? Okay, so tell me your substrate. So
yeah, see, you just fuck up everything here, Brady. Why don't you shut the fuck up for a minute and sit back down?
We're actually
do a
taking off for
dab.
help.
No, I grow in cocoa. So one of our plants yesterday, we were like decided to flush one, and then we were like, holy crap, pH 5. What the fuck is coming out of that?
This is after you guys calibrated your tools, right?
Yeah, we just recently realized that we had to calibrate that tool again.
Yeah,
and
okay.
that's what happened to us. Serious, that's what happened. The pH meter was off. We just did a new calibrate. I don't know. It seems to be better, a lot better now.
Yeah, it's important to keep that stuff
If
clean.
you get that thing a little off, holy crap.
That bowl that he's hitting is super cool. It looks like a nail, actually, that's been lit up, like that's been torched up from afar. So when you hit it, it actually looks like a titanium nail. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's the Acapulco's challenge. But not every Barney Farm strain is a challenge.
No, not every Barney's Farm
Pineapple
strain
Express.
Pineapple should be pretty standard. The LSD you had a lot of success with.
Oh, I love it.
I mean,
everybody smiles. This time around, I didn't do as great, but next time out, I probably be one of my standard go-tos if I had have a chance to get a male or like get like non-feminized seeds so I can keep a female. I'd keep a female of the LSD.
Yeah, I'd keep something from there as well.
Still haven't grown any soma seeds yet, but
they're challenging as well, I would say.
Oh, yeah?
He's got some interesting old genetics as well and some new genetics as well. He's got something new called Soji Kush coming out. We made some bubble hash out of it a couple of weeks ago. I had the pleasure of helping him make some bubble hash out of it, and it turned out absolutely beautiful, and it was being sampled at the Cannabis Cup. He was smoking up a couple of people out with it. And we were testing it in some electric pens, too, so we got it to melt in electric pens, which was really cool.
Nice.
He won the first... This was amazing, you know, with all the new school guys coming out with new school genetics and sativas of all these hybrid crosses and then bringing them up and bringing them down. Soma was honored with first place in sativa category this year for Amnesia Haze.
Really?
Which is kind of a nice nod to Soma for really bringing us some really interesting genetics like New York
Sour
City
amnesia
Diesel.
is a challenge to grow too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, like you got sour amnesia from Hortalab?
Yep. No, not from our. Yeah, we got the Hortalab sour amnesia. Their amnesia. Yeah, that came in second. We have the sour amnesia. That's actually easy to grow.
Yeah.
Sorry. What's the other amnesia haze? That's the challenging one we're having.
Yeah, Amnesia Haze. Soma stuff is definitely connoisseur genetics, which means you might get a lot of variation, or you might get something that's really standard, but you'll find something really beautiful out of it.
Oh yeah, it's just been some of the things we know. Not our Delta 9 stuff has been growing pretty good, quite easily, and
yeah, the Delta 9, the Delta 9 stuff's really nice. That's coming up. The DNA guys have some really beautiful stuff. Yeah, absolutely. The DNA guys are really consistent.
Yeah, the Hortalab guys came in second. Remo has picked up. The Urban Grower picked up a cup.
Yeah, the Urban Grower, Remo, the Urban Grower picked up second place in hybrid, which is awesome to see. A Canadian.
Go Canada.
Yeah, go Canada. A Canadian come in, because in the last couple of years it's been mostly Americans growing in America that are winning the Cannabis Cup, and this year, Soma was honored. He's an American that's been living in Amsterdam, and we have Remo coming in second. And I mean, we stood outside of Milkbag with him, and he took his sunglasses off first of all, so that's a big thing.
Wow.
And he was just beaming and glowing. It was wonderful to see, Canadian win at the Cup. Let's bring it on. You guys.
We're
hoping
hoping
to grow for Canada.
So we're hoping to get Remo on the show via Skype soon with that cup in his hand.
That's cool. That's
Probably
very cool.
won't be able to see his eyes though.
Yeah, it's always a privilege to have people come to the Cannabis Cup, because it's like Christmas for stoners, really. It's not a trade show like a grow trade show. It's really just let's meet the people, let's hear what people have to say. Something really new, Matt, if I can segue to this.
Sure.
Robert Connell Clark,
right,
who's written the amazing cannabis botany book, Hemp Pests and Diseases.
Are you leaving us?
Dang, I'm boring you, man, right?
All right, so you're going to tune in online, right? Yeah, right. Okay. Go back to Robert Connell Clark.
Yeah, okay. Ciao.
See you, Potato Bite. Bye,
Later.
Karen.
Hey, pleasure, guys. See you. Yeah, Robert Connell Clark. a huge book on the history of hashish. It's just called Hashish. Amazing. I think I bought my copy a couple of years ago here at THC, a couple of doors down, because it's cheaper here than it is in Europe.
Go figure.
Marijuana Botany or Cannabis Botany, another amazing book, is now proposing, hold for it, that we no longer call our sativas sativas and our indicas indicas, because we're doing it injustice by saying that sativas are sativas, because sativas are really hemp. So, get ready. 2013, a new book is coming out about the taxonomy of cannabis. It's a new proposition to rename the indicas and the sativas narrow leaf drug variety, narrow leaf ancestral, and narrow leaf hemp variety. And then for the sativas that we know, narrow leaf for the sativas. Oh man, we've been hitting this hard. Narrow leaf for the sativas, broad leaf for the indicas.
How you doing, Matty Oliver?
I'm doing good, buddy.
Matty Oliver wants to go to Amsterdam big time.
Yeah, I'm hoping book tour April.
Right.
Springtime.
Book tour, right, man.
Yes.
I'm hoping. I've never been, and I've never even been out of North America here.
So.
Or sorry, out of. I've only been to Canada and the U.S. I've never been out of.
Smasher, you're taking off too?
I have to go be a student. I have a demonstration tomorrow.
Student, all right.
Sorry.
Toodaloo.
Bye.
If people do want to come to Amsterdam, I feel very privileged to live there and like touring people around. So through Matt's site and stuff, you can get my contact info. But also, April, May are the best times to come to Amsterdam. If you come in June, July, August, it's not like you guys have here 30 degrees. It's like it rains. My birthday is July 15th, and on my first birthday in Amsterdam, it hailed, and it was 7 degrees.
Yeah.
So April, May is the time to come to Amsterdam, and then obviously around the Cannabis Cup time, because everybody's harvesting their outdoor and, bringing the stuff.
So the cup was actually good this year.
Okay, so everything I've said about the cup has been good so far. Now,
so the cup was fun. You had a great time. It's worth going to.
It's worth going to the cup.
Quick question. Do people get paid off?
Okay.
Votes fixed. I mean, come on. Let's face it. I'm just going to lay it out before you even have to go anywhere. An election is rigged. They rig elections. Do you honestly think a bunch of potheads judging weed is not somehow linked to advertising in high times? Do you not think these things? Come on.
Okay.
Bunch of potheads running a cannabis competition in Amsterdam for seed companies.
I'd love to.
I'm not going to go there too hard.
I'm not going to go there too hard either, Matt, but I'm going to summarize it.
But Remo, the urban grower one, so it can't be fixed.
Seriously, and it's a huge honor. I mean, if you think about it, what has High Times done for us? They've really given us the ability to have, from the time that most of us in this room, regardless of how old we are, have been able to read about cannabis.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
That's
now, ask yourself also this question. In Canada, we have a lot of cannabis magazines. You can even have a local one. You got one coming out of Quebec. You got Skunk. You got Treating Yourself here.
Yep.
But in the States, you only have one. And that's a big country. Why is there only one magazine?
They're working on changing that. There's like 420 times is available in California 7-Elevens.
Oh.
So
Okay, well, that's changing. But ask yourself historically, right? So you asked me whether it's worth coming to Amsterdam. Yes, it's worth coming to Amsterdam. Is it worth coming to the Cup? Yes, it's worth coming to the Cup. Is it worth paying for a judge's pass to come to the Cup? My answer is no.
Well, that's what I'm getting to.
That. Now, I'm shooting myself in the foot because I've DJ'd for these guys and submitted entries and stuff like that. But there's money being made. It's a tour, right? You're coming to Amsterdam for Pothead Christmas. So come, enjoy, but buying the judges' passes, you're directly supporting High Times, which is great. But also remember that they've been allowed by the government to be the only magazine up until now. That's what I was kind of alluding to. I don't want to go too deep into that, too, because I don't have all the facts, but let's...
It's interesting in that... what does the judge's pass get you?
The judge's pass gets you basically the privilege to go to the expo.
Right.
Which is a trade show. And
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah, because you get to meet all the people. That's the cool part. But it's shrinking. The venue that it was in this year, the venue it was in last year when the big busts happened, was essentially a small room in the convention center, the Toronto Convention Center. Remember, it's a small city. Only about 8,000 people come to the Cannabis Cup, plus all the locals and a couple of others. But it was about as wide as this room is, the hallway, and then the stands were on the side and about twice the length. So it's not huge. It's proportionally the size of Amsterdam. There were fewer booths this year than ever before, but you also still had all the same pot celebrities out there.
Nice.
So to go and kind of like rhyme down the people on one side of the wall, you know, you walk past the Roar booth where Martin, the president of Roar, was demonstrating their new weed drill. I think it's called Weed Drill Bill.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's an excellent opportunity to meet all these great people.
Yeah, and then connect with them because they really are just people who have grown weed, an amazing weed, and they have a history of it. And whether they're, however they brought it to the culture, it's really worth meeting them and speaking with them because they bring something to you as a cannabis consumer that you probably haven't thought about. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's worth coming and exploring the city for sure. Is it rigged?
All right, let's skip that part.
Let's skip that part.
Going to like the city, now here's my point. Like, a lot of people go and they like get it and they just do the coffee shops. A lot of people do. They get really stoned and they forget, you know, the Amsterdam History Museum is very fun. The Reich Museum. They forget to do, like, you can really balance it out if you know it, if you know what you're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah, Matt. I mean, you were an amazing example. I've lived there for 5 years and I've never been to the Amsterdam Historic Museum. And you were the one that had to tell me that in the Amsterdam Historic Museum that has the history of coffee shops and a joint in the museum. I did not know this living in Amsterdam for 5 years. So
there's like the best part about that history museum is like they have the keys given to Napoleon when the city was conquered, right? They have a shoe that they found from 700 years ago, perfectly preserved because of the muck that the city's built on. And then they have a joint, and it's all like progressing, and you're just like, what's going on here? Who are these people?
Yeah, that's amazing to see that. And Bernard Browning is in a video on the screen too. So this was the important part. This is the good part to pay. This is why it's worth paying for the judges pass. The part that I think is worth it is the speakers. So you get to hear Bernard Browning speaking about the future of MetaWeed oil, which is oil made for sublingual usage, putting dabs on, not dabs, but putting drops under your tongue for medicinal purposes. And hearing all these speakers, that's really worth it. But yeah, come to Amsterdam, hang out, chill out, come to my rooftop.
Yeah.
Keep growing.
Amsterdam, I mean, I just feel that the cup would just get in my way of like seeing all the museums like Van Gogh, and like I wanted to see Amsterdam this time, like really take a boat cruise and just see everything. So the next time I go, I can go, okay, going to this, I'm going to the Banana Bar, I'm going to the Amsterdam History Museum, I'm going to these coffee shops. I haven't seen this one, but I'm going to check these ones out.
Yeah. It's worth absolutely hitting everything, and it's a small city. So, Matt, as you say, those museums, you could probably visit 2 to 3 of them a day and not be exhausted. And,
easily.
Yeah.
Like the best thing is the Amsterdam History Museum. We waked and baked at Abraxas, went to the History Museum, walked through the Bijenhof, and made it to Decampering. And so, like, people need to understand that. Like, hey, you can just work it all into your day trip. Like.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can make your way, and that's the best way to see some of the museums, right?
Oh, yeah.
Your patience tends to be extended a little bit when you're a little bit buzzed, so go and really enjoy the deep details that are happening there. Boat cruises, bikes are absolutely the best way to see the city. You had a privilege of riding around a little bit. And
I did walked on foot. Those bikes just look too much for me. I always sat on a Cafe Mulder. I sat there, and people were coming after work, and I was having a pint, and they were just moving. Like, my head started to, like, spin. They were, like, people were just, like, perfect, like, beside each other. And I'm just like, no, that's too much. I got 2 feet. I know I won't fall and hurt myself. I'm here on vacation. It's like, you know. But if you know how to bike, there's no worries on that. So, here, Jack, try this. That lasted a while.
Is that still the train wreck?
Is.
Holy shit. Okay.
We're ruined. Ruined.
If you're watching, you know who, you know what it is. Oh my God, this is the second time today I've tried in a vape, but we put a little bit more this time, and that's the second bag, and still.
No, 4th bag.
That's the 4th bag. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Train wreck.
Train wreck.
I grew something that I want to promote because I met this guy last year. I grew something called Ghost Train Haze. It was on the cover of High Times. Again, High Times. But props to High Times. They tested THC, and they found that the Ghost Train Haze scores highest on the THC from the last year's breeds. That's if it's grown aeroponically. now we're getting technical. But I'm pretty damn impressed, man. The
No,
Ghost
that'll be
Train
the one.
haze comes from Neville's Haze crossed with Trainwreck. So we kind of
Man.
have a mother and a daughter plant here tonight.
Excellent.
And it's kind of a privilege to try both and to find out, holy shit, that both of them combined
Man,
together.
just
in one
kicks,
amount.
eh?
Yeah, no kidding. Trainwreck. I probably wouldn't recommend it for anybody that can't handle caffeine or quick heart rate, because this one
Man,
is
you're
definitely
booting.
speedy.
Although it's settled down a bit. We have to change maybe to the OG. Or I picked up some Purple Kush the other day, so.
Okay, Purple Kush. So Matt, I'm looking for DJ Short's Purple Kush seeds. If anybody has let's go talk over there later. DJ Short.
I've been know who we're working with. We're doing a few things with Jordan of the Islands.
Oh yeah.
If you
Canadian.
need any Canadian beans, let me know via email. We'll work it out.
It would be a privilege to switch some Canadian beans for some Dutch beans. And
Let's do that.
Yeah. So and
I did. Quickly, I just wrote Jordan of the Islands seed cattle. I wrote his whole thing in exchange for beans. He's like, "How do you want me to pay you?" I'm like, send me a bunch of seeds all the time, and we're good. And now we have a great relationship where he's got Godbud crossed with OG Kush.
Oh snap! Okay,
Yeah,
I just had
the
some
legendary Godbud. So
we had some Grape God earlier today. I don't know. I think that was Next Generation seeds. But seriously, you cross something with that Godbud? That's Canadian, right?
yeah, that's Jordan. Yeah. That's Jordan of the Islands Godbud.
Wow. Yeah, props to the Godbud. That's a really chunky monkey for sure. It's these huge nugs, and if you don't watch what you're doing, you're going to get bad mold and stuff inside of them outside. But wow, talk about yield and huge nugs.
Now, I know inside, we're pleased to announce that I'm getting a new tent, 10-footer, a 10-foot tent, 6 feet, 10 feet. What is it? It's 10 by 6.5 by 5, or 10 by 5. So it's 10 feet long, 5 feet deep, 6.5 feet high. It's the latest tent we're going to put in.
Damn.
We're going to be playing with some power. We're going to put
Damn.
2 600s and an LED in there.
Damn. You can go more than 2 600s in there, right? But you'd fry your house? Or
well, we have a land. I hate to say this, and I don't want to. Could have an Italian contractor who owns the home. And let's just say, yeah. You could put 2,000 watts easily in there.
Yeah, I'm not used to that. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in Canada and used anything indoor, but a lot of people here use the thousands, and in Europe, it's really all about the 400s and the 600s and combos of those.
Growing bud in small spaces is what you're all about, because let me face it, I mean, your apartment, no offense, is like the side. Well, I mean, it's bigger than the stage, but.
Yeah, but it's not much bigger than the stage plus to the end of where that Pot TV sign is. So we're talking about 4 movie benches, 5 movie benches back.
Yeah,
it's not really that huge.
And that's a typical Amsterdam apartment, though.
Yeah, I'm privileged to say we have like a rooftop, so that's where everything happens. But yeah, we're lucky. A lot of people live in much smaller spaces, actually, in much steeper stairs and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. It's tight. Living there is all about the vibe, right?
Yeah, you have to enjoy it's a lifestyle city.
So Matt, on the genetics front, what are you looking forward to growing in your next huge tent? Because that gives you the opportunity to really expand what you.
Oh yeah, we're looking to really expand. Well, like I said, we mentioned the Dynafem stuff. We want to grow a lot of some berry strains like you.
Yeah. I really like the flavored berry strains, the hazes. Some of the Kushes are really, really strong these days coming out of DNA. Those guys with their kosher Kushes and the Holy
heavy.
Grail, it's almost too much. Like, truly, like nighttime medication.
I have my own Kush. I have Lilac Kush.
Oh, yeah?
Which is, it's a 45-day flowering. And we've been working with her, and I think she'll be my Kush choice.
Nice.
Like, I got my own Kush. And I like seed bank. I like going with different. We love growing seeds here. I know I do. We love variety. So I haven't really, put much thought into it. I'm trying to think of some of the guys. I mean, like to go back with Hortalab. Like Hortalab we did really well with. It was very fun to grow their stuff.
Did you grow their sour pink grapefruit?
No.
Oh, man. That's drool material. I've only had the pleasure of smoking it from Voyagers. That's another place. Voyagers is a little bit pricey. It looks a little bit sketchy. It's right across from Central Station for people who are still following the idea of what's going on in Amsterdam. But Voyagers, the guy who owns the place, his name is Danny, and he always gets the kick-ass stuff. He gets the new stuff that's coming out. So when Hortolab is pioneering their new strains, he gets it. DNA, All-Star Genetics, and a couple of other banks are dropping their stuff there. So we have the privilege of trying it. But Sour Pink Grapefruit is one that I'm really looking forward to growing. I have no idea what's behind the genetic, but it's just outstanding.
Like I said, I mean, in seed bank, I mean, we'd grow something maybe from Delta 9, Delta 9 Labs again, our buddy Ed.
Definitely. Ed just...
I just had a bad run with his lot, but what are you going to do?
Well, give Ed a call and say, hey, man, I heard that Greg told me that we crossed something with a chem dog.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that.
So, yeah, talk to Ed about that. He's got something new coming called Magnum Platinum Haze.
Nice.
Which is S5 crossed with chem dog. So S5 is a cutting off Super Silver / Amnesia. Yeah, there we go. Ask him for those. They should be good.
The greenhouse guys, I think we're done growing greenhouse these days, for now. But we often, get an opportunity to see guys like me to grow their stuff, obviously. And
Matt, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years, because a lot of the seed banks are growing their stuff in Spain, and they're growing it out in the open. So you're starting to get people that are feminizing in open spaces. So going back to the Cannabis Cup and Robert Connell Clark proposing these new definitions of categories of cannabis, he started to use the term mongoloid for feminization. And if you don't know the process, basically you stress the plant out. The plant turns its female flowers into male flowers, or starts producing male flowers and creates its own seeds.
Yeah, we've had that. I mean, they still produce bud, and they're in there. Now, here's my first thought: is that man can't fool Mother Nature, and if Mother Nature needs to produce a seed to continue its life, it's just gonna do it.
Absolutely,
it's gonna figure a way to do it.
So the feminization process is a forced stressing of that by using silver thiosulfate spray. Now, what's happening when you do that in the open? That means the pollen from one plant that should be its own pollen, right? Because you're taking a female plant and you're giving it a stress to create its own pollen. That becomes its own next generation. When you do it in the open, you're starting to get crossed seeds. So you asked me about, you said Barney's, but other companies are out there growing seeds, and some other rogue people or new companies are doing open pollen, open feminization. So that means that pollen travels so far, and if it's all in one area of Spain, that pollen's going to cross. And the genetic that you get now becomes so multi-hybrid that you're not just going to get 4 phenos like you got out of the LSD. You're going to get, who knows? And you don't always know if they're going to come up female or male anymore. So this is something I think we should be concerned about as,
as
people
seed lovers and marijuana growers.
Absolutely. Your point is really good, though. I love the idea. If it's stressed, it's going to create its own seed. Absolutely.
Regardless. So I don't know. I could never understand feminized seeds. I mean, dude, you just crank your light, you just have a backup. You just can't, you have 5 and then 2 are male. You pull those and you plant 2 more and you have a continuous harvest going.
Yeah, or even more so. I mean, the privilege of being at the Cannabis Cup is you also get to meet people who do things like go around the world and plant plants everywhere. So you meet people that go to South Africa and just plant male and female seeds, because they're coming back at the end of the season not to pick up feminized seeds or to pick up the cannabis. They're coming to pick up new seed generations. So they're intentionally growing strong males and strong females and sending those out to field so that they can come back for really strong seeds that can be that new landrace variety for the people that need them in those native places.
It's just, I love getting a variety of strains. Who doesn't like marijuana strains? And you ask about what we want to grow, someone's like, grow more sativa. We're growing Fruit of the Gods is looking really good in my grow room right now. The Fruit of the Gods from Delta 9 Labs from Ed Borg. That one just looks beauty. I'm quite happy with that. We showed people on Thursday. We did the grow show here. And we occasionally, people we don't do the grow show as frequently, because you have to bring a computer into a grow room, but we're hoping with the new the new big 10-foot tent to do a weekly show just for an hour to show people, I like showing people strains. I prefer growing a variety of strains from, what we enjoyed was the Egriga. Egriga, which is from, come up to the mic if you remember the seed company, Jack. Egriga.
Is that one from Cannabia?
No, Medical Seed Spain.
Medical Seed Spain.
That came up with Igriga. It's 80% sativa and tests in at 28% THC.
Yeah, okay.
Like these guys are just killer. And Igriga, you can see. I've been growing a lot of it. Nobody's seen it before. It's a beauty sativa I'm enjoying. So I'd like to grow more Spain, I think. More Dynafem
stuff, yeah.
More medical seed Spain. And, of course, more... you know the cannabis guys? Have you ever grown their stuff?
Last year I grew their... Oh, man, I can't remember. I remember what the cross is. The cross is chronic and bubblegum, but I can't remember what they called it. They made an autoflower, they made a feminized, and they made a regular version of it, and I grew out the feminized. And it was called Big Bang. That's what it was. Big Bang or Big Band? It's the one that does not come from the greenhouse. It has a similar strain name to one at the greenhouse. But I think it's Big Band, like a music band. And it's a cross of chronic and bubblegum. And man, that thing was so sticky that when we were chopping it, the scissor hash was clear like the glass on the table here.
Oh, yeah.
Sticky, but it was more on the indica side. So if you're looking for haze, I wouldn't recommend that one. But still, a beautiful plant to grow. They got some... Spain is really coming ahead. We should really watch.
Spain is, we got to keep an eye on those guys.
Spain is really coming ahead with seed varieties and their seed banks. And some friends went down there, and it's really, Spanish people grow for themselves. There's not a culture like this so much, and there's not a coffee shop culture. They really grow for themselves and get together with friends and smoke. They don't...
It's more of an after-dinner thing. They're more social dinner eaters. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they gather for fooding and...
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's not really about the commercial. It's about the pride of growing your own and sharing it with your friends too. So it's kind of cool. And you see people growing these tiny plants in Barcelona up on their balconies because they too don't have the space, and it gets really hot. So you have to lug water all over the place. So they're doing
we know all about lugging water. We recently just moved the grow room out of the attic because we're tired of lugging water up this flight of stairs.
Can I recommend a hose?
We thought about that too, but...
I invested in a hose for my balcony this year because lugging water messed up my back last year. It's really a worthwhile investment. Get a good hose, spend about $100 and just run it.
No, we did. We ended up just moving the whole grow room and deciding we should just go bigger because now that we are close to the water source, it'll be easier. We did that, and to move plants out of the room, we had to set up, a sandbagging line when guys move sandbags.
Yeah, you pass one down to the next,
Yeah, so we did that. A whole bunch of us pitched in and moved like 35, 40 marijuana plants down a flight of stairs and into their new space.
Matt, what are you permitted to grow?
There's no license number on me. Because I struck down the marijuana law for production and possession, very technically, I can carry 3.3 kilos.
Yeah, right, very technically. That's like very technically...
Like 7 pounds a pot. On the, on the plant side, there's no number. They're just like, and you struck down personal possession. So what we get fearful of, and because I make all the videos...
Yeah.
One of the things we watch is the number of plants we grow so that some cop at the Toronto Police Service doesn't watch a video and go, you know what? The guy's got 100. The guy's got 100 plants in there.
Right.
There's clearly not personal use, Your Honor. He's growing 4 ounces per plant. That's, they'll just they'll charge him with trafficking. So when speaking with my lawyer, he's like, oh, that's good thinking because of the videos upset the police. We want to make sure that, we're like, come on. So I got busted with 70, not full size, but all different variety of growth. So I feel that anywhere within that 70, I should be okay.
So it's completely different where I'm living now, too, because that's why I'm interested in what people are licensed to have here, because in Holland, you can't really grow for yourself medically. There's no concept of that. There's a concept of tolerance that if you're not pissing off your neighbors by making it stink too much, you can grow 5 plants for yourself. This has been in the news since last year, and there are links on police websites that document this. So it's 5 plants per household, not per person, but 5 plants. But that also means if I grow in a 100-liter container, I can have 5 plants under... I could push it and put 5 lights, but 1 light, let's say 1 light, 1 huge plant. Man, come on, seriously, I'm going to hit a huge yield. So it's different. But I hear that here you can get a license for up to $199 if you are a designated grower,
It depends on all sorts of things. I mean, depends on how big the prescription is of the person holding it. And yeah, there's some big licenses out there that Health Canada issued that, Jack here is licensed for 22.
Yeah, I'm licensed for both indoor and outdoor, so I get to grow 6 outdoor, and then at a different time of the year, I can grow 22 indoor. But I can't grow both indoor and outdoor at the same time.
Okay, now, so in Holland, one of the things that I said 5, but if I was caught with what Matt was talking about, let's say 70 plants in different stages of the life, and also depending on the professionalism, if I had lots of T5 fluorescent lights with really perfect clones underneath them, that's a commercial operation, and the fine that they can apply to you in Holland is the potential production of each plant. So if you have
They
70,
do that here too.
Yeah. Okay. So similar.
But explain it to us.
It's crazy, right? So what it means
like
is,
you explained to me when I was there. I now remember this. The fine where you have to take out the mortgage.
yeah, because basically what will happen is if you're not criminal, like you don't have guns and shit laying around, you'll get taken to court. You'll probably get thrown in jail for a night. You'll get an appearance notice. So you show up to court, and then what you'll do is you'll get a fine, a massive fine, which basically will be the equivalent of your mortgage or something of that nature based on the number of plants that you have. So if you have hundreds of clones, you're fucked. You will have to go to the bank and get a mortgage. You will continuously pay the government their money, and that's your fine, and then you're screwed. But what does that encourage people to do? Usually grow more weed, right? Because that's what they usually know how to do. So it perpetuates this silly system.
It perpetuates the problem.
And I, from what you're telling me, it sounds like it's kind of the same situation here. If everybody was just allowed to grow a certain number of plants, whether it's medical or not, and medical, licensed grower, you can.
I suggest 5 and under, so not to trigger that mandatory minimum.
Yeah, I mean that 5 and under is amazing, right? Because you outdoors, you can
That's
grow 5 monsters.
That's a good personal amount.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you've got access to outdoor grow space, you can grow a healthy amount on 5 plants.
I grew outdoors once on what was known as the largest balcony in Toronto and got busted, but that's a complete other story.
Yeah, but Jack, how does that work? This is the first time I'm hearing the 12-6 rule, or like the split rule, of where you can have indoor and outdoor.
When you apply for your application to grow, my personal use production license.
Yeah.
I specify whether I'm growing indoors or outdoors or both. And then they have a system for counting how many plants I get based on my prescription.
Okay.
So they've decided I could have 22 indoors, and then if I'm not growing indoors, I could have 6 outdoors.
Okay.
And part of what they're looking at, I presume, is that on the outdoor plants, you're getting a much higher yield.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of what they're looking at.
Is there a concept that you could pre-grow indoors and then switch it to outdoors and say, I'm no longer growing indoors, I'm now outdoors?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything against that. They just don't want you having plants growing.
You can't do 2 at once. So you can't do 28, 6 outside, 20, and 22 in.
Exactly.
Now, I saw something interesting today. Ingenious, right? On wheels, 70 liters, still outdoors. Now, outdoors in the weather that we have here, so it's dipped below 0, but it comes indoors at night into a tent that has 2 600s in a garage, and it's doing spectacular. So where does that fall in the law? If that was a licensed grow, and you're bringing it in and out because you happen to be growing a very nice haze that's going to go, wow, this one could go till Christmas. See the smile? Any idea on what would happen? That's kind of a weird one, right? The wheeling in and out,
It comes down to how
I think they realize he lives in Canada and his harvest is in September, and he can grow indoors because it's cheaper then.
Yeah,
it's
but
a real pain in the ass to grow indoors in the summer.
Yeah, and the MMAR just keeps getting knocked down time and time again in the courts over this failure and that failure in the regulations. And this it's another one. It's something that they've tried to over-regulate, and they regulate it very poorly, and that's the result.
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
They have these meetings with people, and they're doing them right now. Health Canada is consulting with marijuana, even marijuana advocates and enthusiasts. The only people who don't get consulted are myself, Mr. Lewin, and anybody who seemed to have mentioned hey, you should do what they said in the Myrna ruling. Those people are not being listened to at all.
Okay. I'll make sure that next time I'll mention somebody else's name if I'm going to that panel.
Don't do what Matt Myrna's doing. I want to do exactly what that Myrna guy is doing, and you guys should listen to that. Does not work with Health Canada. I applied to be have a chance to speak to them, and they just outright refuse.
So to come full circle, Matt, that's exactly why I walked across Westerstraat in Amsterdam that day when I saw you, because you are one of those guys that I do want to do what you're doing, and I want to do what you're doing with the book. So what's up with the book, man? When's the book coming?
Well, first, the book got delayed because of the big bookstore. I have a publisher that can get it into major book.
It's Green Candy, right?
Green Candy. So
Nice.
they do like the How to Be Kinky Sex. They get books into chapters. Like this is why I'm there.
Greg Green's Breeder Bible comes from there, and that's an outstanding book for,
so
for geek breeders.
They their goal was to get me in time for the holiday Christmas shopping season.
Yeah.
And it was like by the time the designer guy and everything was getting to the press, they're like, yeah, 2 weeks before Christmas, we can do that. Not a problem on our end. We can just scoot it in before. And the issue then becomes the bigger box, the big places go, yeah, we'll take this book. This is a great book, great idea. The author's he does Newstalk 1010. He's on Now. I mean, he's got all this experience. He wants to tour. This is great. It's just not going to work. We can't put them at Christmas because nobody buys books in January. So I would be stuck with 2 weeks of good sales at Christmas. So we had a great pre-order bump, and then decisions just were like, it's just not going to sell in a big box store until this date in February. And then in February is when it's guaranteed to be hit the bookstores because you only get a certain window of publicity too. So I want to ride a good bunch of publicity, and this way, instead of like coming out at Christmas, sitting around on my thumbs and doing nothing in January, and then hoping in February to regenerate that energy.
Yeah, no, it's not worth it. I totally see that. 2 weeks before Christmas is stocking stuffers, and I could see just a few moving quickly, and then it's sitting that dead period of retail, January, February, and then you wouldn't get anything.
So we're coming out middle of February, which is when books start selling again, right around Valentine's Day. So we'll be out in February, and I'll begin doing the chapters tour, and I'll be getting on Go, and I will go to communities in Ontario and expand on. We did really good out of the gate. We climbed the weekend of pre-orders, which crushed us. On Amazon, we were up to number 204 on their top 100 book list, so we came real close there, and we knocked Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas off as number one. Yeah, we have screen captures of like.
Well, congratulations! But
like how to like the marijuana smoker's guide, and then there's like there's ours, and then there's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and you're just like, oh fuck.
Wow.
So I had a bunch of friends. I guess a lot of people were like, fuck, I'm getting that, and it just went viral because we know a lot of people.
Right on. So February, and then
February,
how
and
about
then
a Europe tour?
We're definitely gonna get out. My goal is to get to Amsterdam before heavy tourism season starts.
Yeah. So how about 420?
Well, they need me for 420 here because I negotiate the deal with the Toronto Police Service to let us smoke pot and to use an illegal sound system. Two things that they hate. Like, I get almost arrested every fucking 420, people. Like, every 420, the cop's like, I'm just going to arrest you. And I'm like, that's okay. I'll just call my lawyer. Right? Like, it's just like, you're not allowed to smoke weed here. And there's only 30 of us. It hasn't really started yet. And they're like, turn the sound system off. And I'm like, I'm not going to do either one of those things today, sir. And, you got friends there prepared, like, we'll get arrested with you. I'm like, oh, crap, this isn't going good. I'm real nervous. And then the cops are like, all right. But it didn't work. It didn't work when we went to the movies, though. That plan backfired. 100% we went to try and, like...
Well, it was a family event.
What happened? I missed it.
I got arrested at Dazed and Confused.
You were smoking weed in the movie theater?
No, I was smoking weed outside at Yonge and Dundas.
It was outdoors?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was a family event and you were
They claimed
smoking
it.
It was it's a double-A movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see any children.
Yeah, I think your choice of smoke was appropriate for the context of the movie too.
The
Seriously,
second
come
scene
on.
of the movie is someone rolling a joint. The second scene of the movie.
And they were doing these on Tuesday nights, the same day as the Myrnawana show, as well as promoting that they were trying to represent the culture of each film they were
Next
screening.
week was The Big Lebowski. I'm like, holy fuck, they finally paid attention to 420. They're like, we need 10,000 people to watch a movie. What movie do people like? They're like, yeah, we're going to show them the pot movies. Yes, pot movies, Yonge and Dundas this summer. Holy fuck me. This is the best summer ever. Nope, spent that night in jail. 10,000 10,000 viewers on YouTube later.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, with the Yonge and Dundas Square thing, because of all of Murnau's followers, the police were intimidated, and they used the somewhat gray weather as a way to cancel the event. But Murnau went anyway, and there were a barricade of police waiting for him.
Wait, the cops were waiting. We knew you were coming, man. It's just dude, why didn't you give me a call?
Who are you?
Yeah, and then they went
we
from
knew you were coming.
We knew you were coming, but who are you? This is
Oh, shit.
Good cop, bad guy.
So
Aaron showed up at 2:30 in the morning, only to be told, yeah, that guy's not going anywhere.
Yeah, as soon as they were friendly to me, and as soon as I asked for Matt Murnau, they were like, rrr.
They were pretty. It took 8 cops to arrest me from 52.
Dude, what do you do? You're not a huge, burly dude. What did you do?
Well, usually I just start, I'm flexing, and it's just a whole bunch of other cops are like, I go peacefully. It's just a whole bunch. It's a whole series of getting the special attention, and then there's a guy sticking me in a car.
And the cop that did the Vapor Lounge review commented on him being a medical marijuana user and that they could take advantage of their situation and bother.
Yeah, it was bad. I made a city report.
It was false accusations.
So what are you planning for this year?
For 420 this year?
Bigger,
comedians,
better than ever.
Comedians.
Wait,
probably have a band.
You guys had Classified here last week?
We did. They were here on Friday.
What we would love to have all that. Getting Classified then requires us to get a permit.
Right.
Now, see, if Classified's management said, you know what, Classified's just going to play Toronto a free show at Yonge and Dundas Square April 20th. We'll get the permit. Oh, fuck, the pot guys want to do something that day too? Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and that's kind of how I would like 420 to work, is that
anybody that legitimate, anyone who's got that much invested when they've put their finances into their equipment and their gear. We've tried to get performers to come out before that have big trucks with equipment and stuff, and they just get intimidated by the fact that the cops threaten to arrest them and take away their property.
But this year we did pretty good. Last year we did pretty good. We had a small band.
Yeah, we've never had any real conflicts on 420. They usually we get away with it, but they always start off with saying you can't do this.
I was here one year. It must have been about 2 or 3 years ago now, and it was quite good. It was cold as shit, and being stoners that day, we got stuck at Bay at exactly 420. So we made it to 420 at Dundas Square about 4:25. But it was peaceful, nice, and I have to say, it's been a while since I've been back to Toronto, and seeing this is just awesome. This is an amazing venue. This is you guys are as close to coffee shop culture here as I've seen anywhere, except you can't buy your weed there. But we can talk about it, and this is dope.
We appreciate those wonderful comments, man.
Yeah.
You've been you lived there for 5 years. You DJ at Barney's. You're in the scene. You grow weed for. Soma. You took me to see Soma. People in Toronto all think that's cool. Man, you saw the Soma. That's how they do it. You saw Soma. I'm just like, fuck. I went and met a cool guy. Got really high. Yeah, it's like.
It's the brilliant thing about Amsterdam being such a small city is that
down to earth and stuff.
It doesn't even football celebrities, right? Weed's one thing, and we're here talking about the weed thing, but football/soccer, you'll see soccer players walking down the street in Amsterdam, and these are guys that get paid millions, and there's still this ease in celebrity status that transfers to pretty much all the communities, whether it's music or sports or cannabis, is that there's just this easy vibe, and you guys have it here. This is cool, man. Seeing all these people chilling out and all the screens, and this is just grown up so nicely. It's really beautiful.
Well, we're pushing the city of Toronto to legalize marijuana vapor lounges and not go in the opposite direction. Unfortunately, Ford Court took up a lot of the heat, and it's probably going to take a lot of heat off. It's going to be a bit more difficult to get they're trying to write a bylaw which we believe will prohibit vapor lounges or greatly impede their ability to operate anyway.
So what's the deal with that? Because I read about that last week just in snippets on Facebook, but that's not.
It hasn't been. We haven't seen the bylaw yet. I spoke on Thursday. Crazily enough, I just remembered too before the show started. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Thursday, I spoke to Josh Matlaw, his council office. He's a city councilor here. Kind of calls himself mushy middle. He's sort of like, hey, what's your issue? I'll make a decision based on what your issue is, right? I'll think about it. One of his issues is he's opposed to the prohibition of ball hockey on city streets. So there's kind of a meeting of the.
So I want to buy one of those signs when they come down because they're cool. Those old hand-painted, ball hockey prohibited. There's a couple around the annex area. I want one of those signs.
See what we can do.
So he's this mushy middle guy.
He's
that's kind of like
he's kind of like, hey, what's your issue? Is it good for Toronto? Is it not? I'll make a decision not at the time. So I spoke to him about the bylaw or his council staff. I spoke to them on the phone and said, hey, it says it's going to increase. I say it's going to decrease.
Yeah.
Our community has a great problem with this bylaw. We haven't seen it yet. And at first he's like, no, the report's being rewritten. I said, no, sir, they split the report. Like here you're explaining to council staff. No, they split the report from vapor and hookah lounges. And that's the part some councillors haven't even figured out, that they split us up. Ours report went to city council, and it's full of factual errors. It's designed to screw us, but it's a screw job. Let's just call it a screw job. And then councillors passed it, even left-leaning councillors and mushy middle councillors like Josh Mashlaw, Mike Layton. So the report says it's going to help us, right? And so I talked to Mike Layton, and I say, no, it's going to hurt us. He's like, I did not know that. I voted in favor of it, thinking it was going to help you guys. Like, you're our ally voting against us, dude. Like,
was it a matter of the way that the wording was done? Or
the
was it
wording
just like done to
well, the specifications of each report, like ours specifically, the way it referred to us was that it's going to make us restrictive to medical users only. So we'll have to say papers, please, at the door. And
we don't want to check papers.
And that's not our thing, which we would never implement here at Vapor Central. We're a civilly disobedient lounge where we're open to recreational adult tokers.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I kind of harked out to that, say, like, you guys have the closest thing that I've seen to coffee shop culture in Amsterdam, in that it's not just med users. Everybody has a reason for using cannabis, whatever it is, and it should be applauded that everybody's using it in this context. Look, it's so comfortable, friendly, nobody's fighting. Nobody's going to bust anything out here.
In Vapor Central's origins, we used to sell edibles here until Kindred Cafe's raid. So we are known for that, and it'd be cool if we could go back to that.
No, I don't like edibles. I'd rather go right back to bud.
Yeah.
Because there's no hiding it. There's the food product goes back to Health Canada. Health Canada tests it. It comes back cannabis. Either way. No, fucking just sell
Also,
weed.
the buzz from edibles. I'm not sure we would be having this conversation if we ate a bunch of edibles a few hours ago. We'd be more like this.
Hey, Matt, this is the 2 minute to 420 warning.
Thank you, Jay.
It'd be amazing to have like a cannabis kitchen where they're actually infusing cannabis into like a lot of your different menu items.
That'd be fun.
Okay, so
I'd still like to just see straight up weed sales. But back to Josh Matlaw and his staff in the talk on Thursday about my goal, and we've talked about it on numerous shows, is to get 40 to 100 deputants. Now, the one thing I was able to get from him, and I was like, okay, so they split it, it got voted here, now they're doing a bylaw, and he's following, he's like, yeah, okay, they're going to write a bylaw, and I was like, this is where I get confused. Are they going to throw the bylaw back to city council, or does it go back to licensing and standards? The great news, and the news I should report on the website is, Josh Matlaw's office believes that it will go to licensing and standards.
Okay.
That's great news for us, because if it went to council, council doesn't allow deputants. People can't speak at council. Go figure.
Okay, so break down that word, because that's the first time I'm hearing it. Deputants.
Deputants are people, citizens like Aaron, myself, yourself, that go to city council.
Yeah.
They're called deputants.
Yeah.
They seek to speak, so they write a letter in advance to the chair.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, I love vapor lounges, and I think you should do nothing. And I want to speak at this meeting. So those are the three things you have to say. I love this. This is what I'm about. Here's where I come.
The time is now 4:20 in the French Islands. This 4:20 has been brought to you by Vapor Central. 5 seasons of toking in the heart of the city. Come on down to 667 Yonge Street, 2nd floor, and see what the buzz is about. Back to you, champ.
Thanks, buddy. Looking great. Looking great. So we'll talk about, this is a good opportunity to bring up the Josh Matlow story. Well, Greg refreshes with water. And so what ends up happening is the deputants are people who speak at a committee. You can't speak to council directly because, let's face it, it'd be a disaster. But you get to speak to committee, which is great. So Josh Matlaw's office believes that the bylaw will definitely go to the Licensing and Standards Committee for review. So now that allows people to speak out about this bylaw. So I told his office, I said, well, if you get it, if it goes there, I guarantee you will have people speak out to it. And he's like, oh, that's great. Like, what are your plans? I said, my plans are to bring 40 to 100 people to speak out against this bylaw as deputants. And any citizen of Toronto can write to the chair and say, I would like to speak to this issue. I like vapor lounges. That's all you have to say. However, we're going to simplify it even further. We're going to sit here with my laptop. Dave's going to bring a laptop, and we're going to help you. We're just going to type them and email them to you to help mail them out to the chair. We're going to develop a system because I explained to Josh Matlaw's office, my goal is to bring 40 to 100 deputants to this meeting. That was the number they had for the casino issue, and that was the number they brought out for people speaking out on the budget. And I believe that this is an easy challenge for us to do.
Yeah, it sounds very doable.
And you should have seen the tone of his voice, or heard the tone in his voice and everything. Everything I was speaking to up this point, he was like, kind of, yeah, okay, yeah, I get where. He's like, you can do that? I was like, yes, sir. He's like, when the bylaw gets on the agenda, give us a call because we'd like to meet with you. The moment they learn that we are bringing in the army or the hash mob, it's like, give me a call, dude. Because they want one thing out of us, 40 to 100 people speaking, hopefully we can get. And people ask me about running for mayor, and this is where I say, no, we're going to help people who can actually run this city. And no offense to myself, but I don't feel like I'm there. I don't know if I can do it. So we're going to help people that we know get elected. And they want to, ultimately, they'll come to me and say, hey, you want to come out and volunteer? Maybe bring some of your buddies out. You know, so somehow they want to see that you got numbers behind you. And as soon as we said we got, you know, the potential to bring out the casino numbers and the city budget numbers, all of a sudden things sort of changed.
Hey, Myrna.
Yep.
Just asking if you want to have a few callers in soon.
What do you got? Oh, speaking of, Lizzy Borden just texted me and sent me a message. Unfortunately, she has to move today and cannot call.
Boo.
She's kind of heartbroken not to do that. But she'll try and do it next week.
She'll have to make it up for us by wearing like a Vapor Central t-shirt and update her new photo shoot.
Well, if we send her the shirt, she'll probably do it.
I bet she would.
You guys have those?
Pardon?
You guys have those?
Vapor Central shirts? We've had them made, so a lot of the staff here have them, but we've never sold. I think THC did. I think THC did sell some. We made like a round of them, and we the intention.
I think I have one
more.
somewhere.
They're nice.
Yeah, so hopefully that's the goal, to keep our vapor lounges open. When you get 40 to 100, and that each deputant, just to be sure, the reason we're doing this also, it's a filibuster. If you're filming, it's the idea is we're just going to go in. Yes, we're trying to create change, and this is what has to be done. Each person is given 5 minutes to speak. So if we can get 100 people out at 5 minutes each, that's about 10 hours. That's a long meeting day.
That is a very long meeting day, and we're already having a long chat, so we could keep chatting forever on that topic. And now, what I'm proposing here is, I've heard people from here who are in the cannabis business say that they'd love to open a coffee shop in Amsterdam. What would it take for me, being a Canadian but living abroad, or I mean, don't think of that, but what if I was living here and I wanted to open a vapor lounge? Because this is a cool concept. I mean, good snacks, good environment. What would it take me as a citizen? Can I go to city council and say, I want to open a vapor lounge?
Yeah, right now, all you have to do is, I mean, some of the vapor lounges, unfortunately, in our city don't have business license, but we have a full, you can go right now to city.
A convenience store vendor license, so we have the ability to sell all our snacks and such.
Okay.
What city council is discussing is making a license
separate category
for vapor lounges specifically, and in that licensing, it would be specific to medical, which we're against.
Okay, I see where that.
So right now, everyone can just go down to City Hall. You can fill out any kind of business license that you deem applies to what you'd be doing, and then just break the law and smoke weed there. So whatever kind of business
you could run a dry cleaners that allows pot smoking if that was your shtick. You know,
Chris always says that the manager at Starbucks or whatever could allow people to smoke weed there and operate it as a lounge if you wanted.
Aaron, something you proposed earlier, which was exploring different types of cooking with cannabis, what would it take then to open a restaurant in Canada that, cannabis-friendly chefs want to experiment? And not everybody's getting high, but they might be using it for adornment or just making great tincture color or colors in it and whatever. What would it take? Is it the same thing?
That's
you
a
open a
CDSA
restaurant?
offense.
I don't know. I'd like to say that we'd have to have similar things from Washington and Colorado, where they just have to make it legal.
Okay,
because until then, no one can invest that kind of
that's huge,
effort
right?
in it, because the amount of investment and time and energy into opening that kind of business that they could just take away.
It would have been nice to knock down the Trafficking Act, but I didn't get a chance to. I only would admit it to being the recipient of marijuana.
Thank you. Okay, right. So the easiest road of entry is to basically go in under a convenience store type of license where you can sell food products that are packaged and have, entertainment
and then it's just your willingness to stand up to the cops when they come down and say, you can't do this, and you say, well, this is what I do.
Me, right? Yeah.
Because everyone here brings their own weed, like you said. No one here is purchasing weed. So everyone here would be smoking weed anyway.
Yeah.
In smaller cities and towns, it's probably a bit harder to get away with. You have to do it.
I mean, the Toronto police have a bit more going on.
Yeah, the Toronto, all these people would be smoking their weed in parks or alleys and stuff. And if anything, we're doing cops a favor by keeping them out of people's way.
For sure. That's one of the things that there's a great book called The Dutch Experience by Noel Van Schaik. And that's exactly what it says, is when it actually, as a result of community centers losing funding, the coffee shops started to take over from there, because people who are 18 and over can come and enjoy their own weed or buy weed at the coffee shop and play pool or watch TV or do whatever. And it helps the city council, because then you don't have people just doing other stuff. I mean, we all get to hang out, socialize, watch TV, play pool, whatever, all the other stuff. So it's beneficial to the community when it comes down to it. So basically, open it up and just stand up and say,
Chris and Myrna actually wrote an article that's on cannabisculture.com.
There's been two we've written.
Google, they've updated recently, and it's called "How to Open a Vapor Lounge," and you can Google search that and find out. And it's a very detailed article that goes into the startup process.
No, how to open a vapor lounge is it's just good. I in terms of business, in terms of business ideas, whether or not you were to do, So instead of a lot of people run compassion clubs and this. I would rather, in terms of if you wanted to do a cannabis business, the vapor lounge in the vapor neighborhood would probably be one of the best ways to go.
I'd love to see someone open a coffee shop, someone sell weed, but they're going to have to go to jail doing it.
Yeah, for sure. At least once.
It's only happened once, and that was,
because that's definitely the untapped market. Everyone needs to get their weed somewhere.
The Kind did that in Vancouver and was doing it for months and months and months. And DeKine was so successful that he opened, and I didn't know this part. It came out in court documents after he pled guilty and all that, but he made enough money that he set up a loan-free banking system in this small lumber community, and he was basically running, he's like, I might get the money back, I might not. He was just giving it away. They were making so much money with DeKine for that small period of time that he opened up a loan-free bank that they knew he was not going to get any of the money back.
Wow.
He was just giving it to his friends and neighbors. But ultimately, when the movie X-Men was being filmed, the Vancouver police used that as an opportunity, because he was so busy all the time, the Vancouver police could never make a bust, right? They're just like, oh, crap, we really don't want to go in there and bust all these little guys for just smoking the weed. So ultimately, they waited for the X-Men to be filmed. They had to shut down the street. And then they went in there and they raided them.
Shit.
And that's how they busted. They ultimately shut down DeKine. One of their bigger problems with DeKine was also is they went to the media and were like, hey, we've been selling weed to anybody for the last 6 months and nobody's done anything about it. Oh, yeah.
And there's been Church of the Universe type stuff in Toronto that does similar
things.
things.
Church of the Universe, they got busted too, and Peter and Charus both went to jail for that, and Paul Lewin represented them.
I'd love someone to do it I guess more legitimately and openly, but then they'll end up going to jail.
Was there any credit in the X-Men movie to DeKine for kindly supplying cannabis onto the set of X-Men and enhancing the experience?
You can see Chris Bennett in the movie Escape to Canada. Like, they have, like, the line, and he's, like, got his fists in the air, and the cops, he's like, we want this in our neighborhood, and nobody disagrees. And there's, like, all these people from the BCMP all booing and stuff, and then there's the spokesperson for the Vancouver Police Department. It's like, well, they've had neighborhood complaints, and we're just acting on neighborhood complaints. And what they actually mean, and Chris will explain this if you want it, don't believe me, is when they mean neighborhood complaints, it's an off-duty fucking cop walks by Vapor Central and smells it, and then just complains. He's not even working. I shit you not. And if he really wants to go one step further, he fucking calls Crime Stoppers, leaves himself a tip, and that's how and they get you.
Yeah.
Lawyers will often check when it's an anonymous bust. When you get busted anonymously, the cops found out from an anonymous tip, 9 times out of 10, it ain't a neighbor ratting you out. It's a cop in the neighborhood.
Okay, that was I wouldn't have guessed that. But it kind of forms something interesting, because if the law went more towards tolerance, which is what allows us to grow 5 plants in Holland, which basically says, I'm not going to bug my neighbors, so I'll protect the fact that there's smell, or I'll warn them in advance, say, hey, I'm going to grow 5 gigantic fucking plants out there that's going to make the community look a hell of a lot better, but it's going to stink in September. They won't mind if you give them that heads up. Now, that would be wonderful to see that, and even the cops then wouldn't mind. They'd be like, yo, you got some nice weed over there I might be able to smoke?
Yeah.
You know, like, it just seems so logical, but I had no idea that 9 out of 10 times that it was a tip was actually
brutal.
an cup.
You can even, like, you know, see if they paid themselves. Like,
well, even the investigation into vapor lounges, like the Vape on the Lake that opened in Etobicoke, the city councillor in that district was the one that
he was the one who started it.
Annoyed and filed the report.
Because his campaign office was constant. His city his office was right across the street from it.
Oh, or I was going to say maybe the Vape on the Lake and one-of-a-kind glass are actually fancier offices than the local councillor had.
I don't know.
I think you might be right there, but yeah, the councillor had moved his location once Vape on the Lake had opened. That the councillor wasn't in that office anymore.
Okay. His sign was still up.
Yeah.
Clearly a busy neighborhood if his sign's still up.
Yeah, I mean, come on, that's a great way to bring people into that neighborhood, too.
That's what,
Absolutely, you know. I mean, this neighborhood has a lot of walk-by traffic, which affords people to just come here and walk by, but what a great destination for people to just go out to another vapor lounge somewhere else in the city, you know?
We get so many people that are coming from, like, way out that are that are driving from far on the highway to get into the city, and it's a hassle driving around in the city and parking, so it's nice for people to have that midway point to go to as well.
And people shouldn't be stoned when they're driving, right? We're not promoting that. Don't build a bong into your car. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, make sure you can drive home.
Yeah, absolutely. Be responsible.
Make sure you can pass that you know.
I don't know. I've smoked lots of weed, and there's only been one time where I've been like, I should wait 10 minutes
but
before
that's
I
what
drive. I was like,
exactly.
It was my first time smoking a blunt. My mom was calling saying, you're late.
It was the tobacco.
Well, see the combination of the mom. It was the mom, not the blunt. It was the mom, like, why are you 10 minutes late? Get home immediately.
Exactly.
No, but it's true. Cannabis helps you explore that kind of responsible side of yourself and say, maybe I should take a break or have a chocolate bar or some
on my
sugar
Facebook, I just got a note from urban grower Remo, and he'll be on the show next week also.
Cool.
He'll make a great guest.
Oh, he'd be great.
Props to Remo.
Just got home. He just had a nap, and he's well rested. He was going to do it, and then he's too tired to do it. He's right on my Facebook right now.
Well,
and just remember, folks, when we say we're trying to get these people, it is pothead planning with potheads. So we're doing the best we can until we're super popular. And then it will be like, oh, crap, we can't book any of you.
Yeah, you'll have to book 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
You know, Aaron, I think I've been kind of pointing at you the last little while. I think I got that from Remo because I was hanging out with him last week. You know, he's like, on location. I love that. And he's like really a great face for Canada in that sense.
He does a lot of that.
Yeah, very.
He's rolls joints the size of little sausages.
Stuff. He's got his
breakfast sausage size joints.
Yeah, heads up if you read. Yeah, when you have
Man, you know, he does something at the end of every big tour. Like, so at the end of his Cannabis Cup, he buys a new grinder at the start, and then at the Cannabis Cup, he just uses that grinder, and it's got a keef catcher, and at the end of the Cannabis Cup, he rolls a super, And now he rolls sausage-sized joints every 10 minutes. Remo, the urban grower, check him out on YouTube. He's been here. He throws parties here when he comes to town. And they're like, that freaking big. I shit you not. Just like, so you can only imagine the amount of keef in the catcher. I mean, like, some stoners get these keef catcher things, and like a year later, they're like, man, I've been grinding with this thing for a year. I'm like, okay, sure. Not realizing, like, oh, man, like.
Yeah, watch out for those super joints, too, if you happen to be a grower and prize your possessions, because those are big joints. If you say, hey, Remo, go ahead and roll yourself a joint, yep, it's going to be a big one, but they're really tasty. I think the size of the filter does something, but they're the size of this microphone, pretty much.
Yeah, a lot of those BCers have big joints all the time. They just smoke them nonstop. Dana Larson's another one, notorious for just.
Yeah, he's like when we do the NDP.
And so is Opus.
It's a great reason. Opus, Dana Larson is one of the great reasons to join the NDP, if only to go to NDP functions with him. If your only real goal is like when he comes to social government, you want a guy like Dana, because he is that hash is very, very tasty.
It was really nice.
Okay, yeah, this is this one came from Soma. This was the imported Moroccan bubble hash. So the guys in Morocco are now making large-scale isolator hash, so ice water hash, and this is what it bubbles like crazy. That was
probably some of the best hash I've had in a long time.
And it goes long. It goes for a long time.
I noticed that. Yeah. Just absolutely unreal, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, a pleasure. Hey, on that. Oh, it's such good hash. I totally forgot what I was going to say.
That's all right.
I should get back to work, but I came up here because I love Amsterdam, and I wanted to say I went to Amsterdam for my honeymoon with Chris.
Aww.
And our double reggae.
Double reggae. I saw
was
that
the
sitting
first
on
shop
there.
We went to, and we sent our staff a postcard back.
Beautiful.
And I loved Amsterdam. I wanted Chris to come into a open house and check it out there with me. I was like, I could see myself living in Amsterdam. But he wouldn't go in.
Yeah, Chris isn't like, you can't, it's hard to keep him. He's just far enough from Hamilton as it is.
Yeah.
You guys should, when things start going, open a coffee shop there, have a vapor lounge here,
That would be incredible.
That'd be the life. But you got to make the life you want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it takes
and you've
those
done
steps.
that. You've made it there. You took some steps to get there.
Yeah, it's hard steps along the way, and you fall into legal matters and X's and things like that.
Oh, man, I've been in court since 2008. 4 fucking years have been going on in court. People like...
Yeah, but you've been doing it longer than that. It's not 2008 that you've just been...
Yeah, I've been arrested a couple times.
I'm going to do this motion and not say what it means, but...
We got a couple Skype guests coming online that probably want to get on.
All right, what do you got, Goodwin?
420 Deb, Al Graham.
Okay.
Yoda.
Yep.
Yoda.
But, yeah.
Who do you want to pick?
I don't know.
What do you want?
Well, let's just go to something and see what happens.
That's the show. Put 420 Deb on. Maybe she's got a question.
I'll give her a call.
Are you calling people? Why can't we have one of Dab Matt on?
Works.
No, I said Wanna Dab Matt. He's Wanna Dab is one of my boys. He's helps me out from time to time.
I thought it was Dab Maninov.
No, it's Wanna Dab Matt just walked out. We're pretty good on that. Hash was great.
Yeah, just packing some for Jack.
Excellent.
Yeah, Deb on the line. I don't see any video though, so I'm not switched over to it yet.
Well, people shouldn't people call the show Good One? Call-in shows usually are calling. Matty Oliver, get up here and explain call-in to him, okay? You laughed at that one. Good one, like usually.
I've been telling them in the chat.
Oh, yeah, they call us. Just ringy ding ding. We'll take a call or two. Open the lines. Good one, open the lines. Call us on Skype, Vapor Central.
The problem is if you open the lines and everybody starts calling in, that will have an effect on the stream. So we'd rather just let everyone in the chat know that we're doing it, and they can say, hey, I'm down, I have Skype, I can do it, and then Chris can pick out of the group. Or we can go through one at a time. But anyways, Chris is right.
Ringy ding ding
For sure. It's better to call out than have 5-10 people call in at the same time.
Why can't we have 5 or 10 people call in?
Maybe we can one day. Something to strive to.
But even if wouldn't they just get a busy number?
Well, I don't know, because I'm sure you could do group video Skyping. So I bet you could have 5 or 10 people on at a time, but I don't know if you'd want to, try to do that on the first
giant group call. I think you have to subscribe to some
I don't
corporate
know.
package if you want to have group video. It'll say
you got to
group
bring out the cheddar if you
Oh.
want to. If you want to have the group chat, the group orgy chat.
You're rolling in the cheddar. I
Yeah.
think rolling in the donut.
Yeah, I'm sure you could have just like a 5-10 person round table.
Wow, that's fantastic, Ash.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody's talking.
Who's that? Hi, 420.
Stop!
Ah! What's going on, hon? Turn down your volume. We got to do that or something.
There you are. There you are. You're on TV.
Right on the TV there.
Oh, she's waving to
Not
the...
much. You know, we're just sitting here having a break.
Nice. What are you smoking on? Is it working? What are you guys up to out there? What are you smoking on? Is it snowing where you are?
I think they're listening to the show
No
at the
snowing.
same time.
Oh, that was the feedback. Yeah, you can't listen. You can't watch the show on a different. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay, turn your volume down.
Or put, if she puts headphones on, that'll work.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There, how's that? How's that, guys? We turned down the volume on our TV.
Oh, that sounds great, man. You sound real good, actually. You guys sound really good. Where are you calling in from, if you don't mind us saying?
Where are we? We're in Campbellford,
Nice.
the home of the Toonie.
Home of the Toonie.
We're about 2 hours east of Toronto.
Is it snowing where you are?
No snow here. No.
Hey. What do you guys?
Not yet.
What are you guys toking on tonight?
We got some Grape Escape, and I don't know what Deb's got in her little storage bin there. I don't know myself.
I don't know.
What's the Grape Escape? It's Grape God and Cross something, or what's the Grape Escape?
Says it smells good, but she's not sure what it is.
Where is it?
It's a great name. It's a great name for sure.
Yeah.
Show it to your colleague.
Well, this is my friend,
No,
my
Jesus.
pet dog.
Hey, buddy.
He was born on 420.
That's awesome.
What's his name?
There we are.
This is like a virtual
Yeah, I'm just
session.
trying to watch right. Getting used to handling a phone, okay, guys?
Dude, it's just like having a
There,
virtual
yeah.
session. This is why we actually do the show. It's so people like you that live 2 hours away feel like you're at the lounge. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
There
name
you
of
are.
the? What's the
Yes,
name?
Deb and I were down, celebrated Deb's birthday, actually.
Oh, yeah?
And we were down to the lounge for a visit. It was the day that Ted Smith was in doing his book tour.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we're down to the city and stopped and then to the lounge. It's always good for a visit.
Ted Smith's the Hempology 101 guy?
Yep.
You guys are doing something
Correct.
together this week, right? Later in
We
the week?
unfortunately
Yeah.
had to cancel that event.
That's Thursday night. It's at what, Downsview Library now, I understand?
Yeah, I won't be able to make it. Neither will Chris, unfortunately. We've had to tell Ted that it's just too far. Like, it's an hour out of the city, which we don't. Like, Chris has to work, and
Yeah, Downsview's far, right?
yeah, it will take us an hour to get there. Which
Now, can you guys move
Correct.
that closer to the center of
we're
the city?
supposed to be at Young and Egg, and we're gonna do something. I don't know. We'll figure something out on this, because it's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's just they put it in
Okay.
the wrong spot in the city, where it's just like and then they had the wrong address for 2 weeks, which is not good. I kind of don't like those things. I'm sort of
Yeah, that can be confusing.
Keep it accurate. I mean, we already, we smoke, so we know that we have short-term memory issues, but it helps our long-term memory.
Well, I try and be a professional pothead.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna try some of the Shore.
Right.
Yeah.
Keeping it classy. Yeah, the Shoreline is from Devil's Harvest. It's a really short.
Oh, this is somebody I'd like to grow.
This is
This is
interesting.
This is something new for you guys here, Matt, is to do these Skype interviews.
Yeah, this is all new for us, doing the Skype interviews. We've been practicing. Last week we had Carly Montana on the show. She's a film actress in L.A. film actress. See the wink here? Let's see. We've had numerous guests, but we have Jeremiah from Cannabis Culture. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What are you up to?
What am I up to? Well, basically, I just finished doing an interview earlier today with Casper Leach on Time for Hemp. As far as what we do here up in this end of the province is we go around and we have 4 cafes, and we do educational documentaries at these cafes in Belleville, up in Peterborough, some smaller locations here in Trent Hills, as well as in Rose and Neath. And we have educational films on prohibition, science, the patients, as well as the history of cannabis. And we do Skype interviews following our movies. So it allows you to bring in advocates from all around the world and to be able to talk to them about those different topics and hear what they have to say.
We kind of stole the idea from you. No, we just...
No.
I mean, it's a great idea. It's just still... It allows you to go... I mean, you are in some very tough communities, so to speak. Tough on crime. And you're going to need...
Yes, yeah, well... Our riding here is conservative, and we have a conservative riding on both sides of us, so we're completely surrounded by conservative people. So, it's nice to be able to reach into the grassroots and talk to them, and we just believe that that's what helps to get politicians to change their mind and look at things properly.
That's excellent, the fact that you're doing the Skype and you're having advocates on, and it's something we've been bringing in. I mean, you're 2 hours away outside of Toronto, which makes it difficult for people to come out to. And I mean, when you're speaking to 20 or 30 people, it kind of gets you like, I traveled 2 hours and 4 hours there and back, and I only met 20 people. I mean, as Justin Trudeau likes to say, it's the long, cold, hard, boring road of Canada.
For sure.
But Skype has clearly allowed some great things to happen.
And those 20 people...
It does. It allows you to reach out to the people, and you get to be able to see them and talk to them at the same time as if they were right there. And I got a good picture of you guys sitting there with the vapor bag on the stage.
And we have a great picture of you here. You're on all our TVs here at the Vapor Lounge. We see you even above my head. I guess you can see that now. I mean, and we intend to use this more and more. I mean, and we're reaching out. I mean, a lot of people... guys like yourself and Cannabis Culture News Live, a lot of people do cannabis news show, cannabis activism shows. They do a great job. For myself, even though I am known as an activist, I do have 2 media diplomas. I'm aiming We're aiming for more of the Fox News, more of a weedy variety program by bringing in a variety of guests. We're trying to get Sean Morley, who's a wrestler, trying to get him on the Skype because he's pro-marijuana. And we're just trying to reach out to a different audience, too, but also continuing to stay on our roots by having people like yourself on our show.
Yeah, that's fantastic, being able to see you. I think you've just frozen up. Can you still hear us?
Yeah.
Oh,
there. Am I back? There was an incoming call.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, I'm on because I'm on the cell phone here, right?
Oh, jeez.
Wait. You're Skyping us via your, iPhone?
Yep.
Okay.
We're on a Samsung Galaxy phone in the living room at Deb's house. I was just showing her how to use the Skype and decided to call you so we could give this a try and show her how it's all done.
All right.
Normally I use Skype either a laptop or on the base computer at home, not on the phone. But
totally a first. Totally
new experience for me too.
This is amazing. I love it. I'm a big
new technology.
Fan. It is amazing technology, and we intend to use it more. And we hope to have live guests too, of course, on the show this week. We have our buddy Greg here. The shorter line is very good from the.
That was just Mage on the other line trying to call in. I just declined it.
Oh, did you
It
decline?
said it would have put this guy on hold. I don't know how all that stuff works yet. With
all right,
people.
we'll take Mage next.
Either.
Yeah, we're all learning.
We have to
you're
fake.
rather low.
Well, here, I'm going to answer with Mage. Hold on 1 second.
You're going to put
Let's
him
see what
on hold?
happens.
See what happens.
There's Mage.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Well, I'm just sitting here wondering what's going on with you guys.
Well,
Hey, I like that guy that's your guest today. What's his name? I didn't
it's
catch
Greg
his name.
from seedtesters.com. This is Greg from seedtesters.com.
Hey, my name's Greg Andrushenko. It's a really long last name. You can try and find it somewhere. But I go by DJ DeShank as well, so it's easier. DJ DeShank at Gmail, and you'll get my real name. But yeah,
How's the show going on your end?
It's looking pretty good here. I mean, there's a little bit of lag, not much. It's almost what I would call real time.
No, see, I mean, you're missing out this week because you got other family commitments, but usually you're here. So what is the difference in the show between taking it at home and watching it at the lounge?
No, it's a totally different experience because, I mean, it's actually like participating in a live show. It's just like watching any other magazine that you might watch on the TV, like anything else. And it's great, terrific. You guys have done a wonderful job.
I think I still have 420 Deb on the other line. I think that's what we're hearing. Those Skype doo-doots.
Well,
I'm not sure.
For tipping in. What else?
We got to figure out a next level vaporizer technology that we can share our vapor by Skype too, because the Shoreline and the vaporizer is really good. It's definitely got the indica
We
kick and making me
smoked probably the best sativa I've ever smoked in probably a year, buddy.
Trainwreck. That train wreck. Holy shit. Hands
you missed
down.
out tonight.
It would be a real pleasure.
Because he knows I know he loves sativa, and he knows I see him all the time. Hear that evil Kraz? Oh, look at that switcheroo, eh? Look at you all professional back there, Goodwin. You switcherooed that really good there. You flipped her.
I'm trying to flip her right back. Hold on, Mage.
Hold on, Mage.
Keep talking, Myrna. You're on cam.
Well, I know I'm on cam. I'm trying to update on my Twitter over here.
This is the second problem with technology, is our ability to multitask. And it's like, oh, shit, Matt's still on air.
I'm trying to talk about stuff.
Should we take a commercial pause here for the marijuana cookbook? This is a...
Oh, yeah, we're actually, we actually supposed to come up with a question. Do you have a question that we could ask the studio audience to give that book away with?
Name 3 of the strains that we vaporized on stage tonight.
You think anybody can answer that? If you can answer that question... Oh, we got a guy standing up. I don't know if that's the answer.
Okay.
We're giving away the Marijuana Chef Cookbook.
Name 2 of the strains.
How about one of the strains
name one of the
that we
strains.
smoked in the last just hour and a half? If you can name one of the strains in the last hour and a half that we smoked, you can win a copy of the Marijuana Chef Cookbook. What? We did not smoke any headband.
We did not smoke any.
No headband here. What?
No green crack either. Holy smokes. Can you guys not hear us down there?
You're not hearing correctly? Oh, man. Sometimes you ask the stoned audience way too many difficult questions.
Don't want that back there.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, Matt, do you remember smoking any White
Mage,
Widow?
you got any
No.
intelligent questions to ask the audience to give away this book?
Tetrahydrocannabinol. How do you spell it?
I don't know how to... If you can spell... No, you wrecked the whole question there. All right, let's... Who wants a cookbook? From Greed Candy. Right there. Come on up. Oh, I'm not done studio questioning you. Name. Who's yelling grapefruit at me?
Jeebus. What did we stick
Other
in this
than
pipe?
OG Kush and Purple Kush, name a form of Kush. Name one strain of Kush. You get a copy of the book. Okay, anybody else can get that question? Over there. Bubba Kush it is. I'll take out of, you had a whole wide variety other than OG and Purple. You're pretty high, aren't you? I'm sorry for calling you out. Thanks for enjoying the show, though. There's got to be a consolation
obviously-
prize. The problem with the consolation prize is that it's usually a bong rip or something, and you're just like, people want to win the consolation prize too. So hold on a second.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what?
We'll fill up a bag and we'll just toss it that way. And
Show
we'll
me the
hit
deal
it.
with this bong. What was
Oh, the bong, the Jet, the Sub-Zero from Jet. It's got a built-in carb here. So like you inhale, and then when you're ready to like punch it, you just inhale like that. Now the neat thing is that the diffuser here is computational technology. Shit, you know, computational toker technology, and it's designed for maximum bubble flow. So when you hit it, the bubbling is amazing. It absolutely bubbles like a genius.
What's it made of?
It's made of like really expensive like space age material. All right, let me fill you a rip then of the purple kush. All right. You want purple kush or
Yeah.
I got ultimate indica? Well, here you go. Just
No, nothing called ultimate indica, dude. We're still talking, right?
Sure, yeah, we go to 10:20, but
okay, cool. Yeah, I'll give that a shot.
So
this is pretty impressive. It actually looks like a normal bong when you see it from far away, and then it's got this heavy base with what, maybe 50 diffuser holes inside of
yeah,
it.
it's got 50 diffuser holes.
I have to say that this technology here definitely feels like toilet technology. If you've ever had to like take the top off a toilet,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's kind of weird that way. Maybe they
Yeah,
might
maybe.
consider making it green or something. But
No, I like the toilet technology, and it actually
Yeah.
makes like a flushing noise.
yeah. So what's the deal? You
Inhale, and when you know how you have a carb on some bongs,
Yeah, you
and
just-
when you're ready to like punch it, there, do that.
it's obvious we've been smoking here for a while because it says carb right on the side.
That's
Right
all
there.
right. When we first got it, we couldn't figure out how to use it either.
All right. What's happening?
Huh? What's going on, Mage? Oh, you had to put your sunglasses. We're hitting the toilet bong, the penis pump bong. Look at it bubble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, what, the electronic one?
The Sub-Zero one. Look at it
Oh,
bubble.
yeah.
Look at it. Just bubbles great, eh?
Computer.
Did you see it?
Computerized.
Did it come out on cam? Did we see it out on cam? Like, that was a great rip.
Actually, it appears on screen very, very well.
There you go.
Yeah,
Try and hit.
pretty
Oh,
good.
look at that. You get, like, a lot of bubble technology out here. It's like, look at how many bubbles. It's like a little pump action there. That's cool. And then, yeah. And then it sounds like a toilet.
That's a really nice tasting. What was that?
That was Purple Kush.
Wow.
Do you rip bongs over there, or are you too high?
Wow.
No, I'm.
Did you see how this one worked?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Are you okay, though?
I'm
Do you want a
fine.
bong rip as a consolation prize? Okay.
Right. I used to do vaporizer reviews for a site called vaporizerblog.com. I'm really glad I moved beyond the vaporizer reviews because there's only a certain number of models. But yeah, this is a good technology for sure. Drop an ice cube in that, and that's pretty cool. Sub-Zero. What is it? Sub-Zero?
It's the Sub-Zero from Jet Water Pipes.
Yeah.
Caution, it's a big lungful.
It hits like a champ.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure you know
we
how
don't
to
even
rip a
taste
bong.
it.
So.
Yeah, the taste out of this is really, really good. I usually prefer smoking out of glass when it's going to be a bong, but the taste out of this, I think the diffusion really works well.
I'm getting a vaporizer attachment for it.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? Spot on. All right. Oh, yeah, don't steal a little I Heart Amsterdam. You're welcome. That was a good consolation prize. At some point, we're going to come up with, like, Jay Danger calling people down. So, like, people who want to participate in the show and win prizes and do bong rips and stuff will leave their name at the door, and Jay Danger will be, I'm like, Jay, I need someone to do bong rip. And he'll be like, come on down. Or he'll do it, like, Jay Danger style, but I'm doing it in the Price is Right because that's what I'm going for.
Hands down to showing that Barney's grind. Was that a Barney's grinder?
That is. That's I gifted him that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
He's a big fan of like the LSD. Barney's fan.
I love the LSD. The LSD's bomb.
Yeah, it's surprisingly that's one of the strains that I haven't smoked. It's an indica with a crazy kick, right? Like
it's a couch locking indica with a crazy ass head trip. Like you can sit there and just write all day, or just stare off into space and be like, oh.
Far out, man.
It is. Now their issue is that they have one sativa that does the opposite, where it's minor pain relief and really trippy, and they have one real heavy indica. So there's two main ones, an indica and a sativa, and then two that are like, eh. But if you get within those first two,
Which one do you prefer, the indica or the sativa pheno out of the
the
LSD?
indica pheno.
The indica pheno?
Yeah, where it's nice, fluffy skunk buds, though.
Yeah.
So it's a weird pheno of LSD where you get these nice, great pheno buds. They're really like foxtaily and really beautiful looking buds.
Is there anybody either online or here that's grown the Barney's Dr. Grinspoon?
No, it looks complicated.
Yeah, it does. I'd really like to try though. So
That's an incredible story, though. Dr. Grinspoon and his son. Wonderful stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Check him out on YouTube. He's got his own channel.
Oh.
Yeah, he was just awarded this year by the Cannabis College and associated people in Amsterdam with a lifelong achievement award. It was Dr. Lester Grinspoon. Who's the guy that owns Virgin? Richard Branson.
Richard Branson. We tried to have him on last week, but
yeah, he was one of Lester Grinspoon was one of the recipients, and a few years ago, Barney's named one of their strains Dr. Grinspoon. And it's if you've never seen it before, it looks like it's really looks complicated because it doesn't look like cannabis at all.
Ooh.
It looks like a weeping willow plant that you can pick the little pods off of, but it's excruciatingly high in THC. Yeah, it's a knocker. Very, very, very low yielder. That's all I can say, but very special, just like Dr. Grinspoon. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great chats we're having on different strain varieties.
Well, this is different for me.
What's different? It's good to see you on. Oh yeah, you're on the Skype. You get to watch.
Yeah.
How did the pants come out on the computer?
Oh, they're wonderful. The thing is, with this HD camera, I mean, it's just terrific. It was just like camera. Oh yeah, you can pose. I mean, the whole thing. It's great.
Yeah, this is really fantastic to be able to fly and be here for a couple of days, Skype with people that are 2 hours away in the, maybe snow or maybe not, and then connect this way over in HTC, was it? Or a Samsung?
Yeah, we're 1080.
And
yeah,
Matt's
1080
pants?
HD.
Seriously, those are amazing. Are they stretchy too, Matt?
Yeah, they're stretchy.
So
I got these in Amsterdam at a flea market.
Yeah, they're leisure. It's a part of a leisure suit. I mean, imagine if there
part
was
of
a jacket
leisure
for that.
suit. There's no way it'd be a part of a leisure suit, but I'm getting more.
This comes with a jacket?
No.
I'm just imagining it does.
That would be insane.
It might. There might actually. It's by Space Tribe. You can get these pants in Amsterdam, and you can get them at the not the Albert. There's another flea market, Albert Coop, and another one.
It's the Waterloop line. It's Waterloop line.
That's the one, the Waterloop line market.
Yeah, 6 days a week, flea market, guys selling pants like that, any T-shirts you want, bicycles, locks, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a good one.
We also got a sextant at that. It's like it's a weird navigational device. It looks weird.
Tell him about what you bought in that little shop that was hiding.
Oh, he knows about the penis.
Really?
Wait.
Oh, man,
of course I know about the penis, but it's my penis I know about. What are you talking about?
You didn't know about the penis I purchased at the communist art shop
in
Amsterdam?
I didn't.
At the Abraxas. There's the Abraxas one. So right over the bridge.
Yes.
There's that little tell people about it.
Yeah. You walk by the store and there's a bust of Lenin in the window. There are Russian watches, metal planes, so on and so on. But you bought a penis at this store?
Yeah. He also sells weird oddities. And it was an anatomically correct doctor penis from the 1950s.
Yeah, anatomical direct. Yeah,
it was and it came apart in like 4 pieces. The penis part came apart, and you took that part, and then you took the nutsack also, and it had everything like all done, the veins, a whole 9 yards. Like it was a perfect looking penis.
Okay.
So I'm stoned at Abraxas, and the person I'm traveling with, Jillian Hollander from Cupid's Escorts, is like, "Oh my God, I have to have that penis." But of course, the store looks really weird.
Yeah, it definitely looks weird. It fell out of some other era in some other country for sure. But I'm impressed. It's an anatomically correct, old school,
1950s medical school penis.
And you were with Xavier Hollander that day?
Jillian Hollander, I was with from Cupid's Escorts.
It's not the rest of the thing.
Yeah, kind of the Xavier's, yeah, they're kind of related, but not.
Okay.
Anyways, I was with Jillian, and she's like, "Oh my God, I have to have that penis." And then she's kind of weirded out by the store, and I was like, "I will ring the doorbell." So I ring the guy's doorbell on the shop.
You have to ring.
Oh yeah, it's closed too. The fucking communist guy's like, "Yeah, I got a shop, but it's closed, and you got to ring the doorbell."
Hey Matt, it's 15 minutes to 420 BC.
No, you mean 420 in Hawaii.
Oh, sorry, Hawaii.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Cool. We're almost on the show. Perfect. I'm almost done with this story. Thanks for the update.
The dabs are catching up to me.
That's okay, buddy.
How's it going, bud?
Dabzheimer's?
We're doing well up here. I could use a dab at the end of the show.
No worries.
So yeah, I ring the doorbell, and then, of course, an Amsterdam Dutch citizen comes to the door, and he's like, "What do you want?" Right? Like, "What do you want?" is his is like, ring the doorbell. "What do you want?" is what he asked. Great customer service, buddy. So I'm just like, "I want the penis in the window." And that was like the business transaction.
And how much was the penis in the window?
Man, it was like 80 euros or something, dude. Like,
Yeah, but from the 50s, seriously, anatomically correct, and you could take it apart and show
Yeah.
friends? Come on, that's worth
That's
80
right. We
euro.
got drunk on Saturday night and went to one of the sex shops. They have 2 sex stores there that use gnomes. Like, one's a female gnome, and she's topless and stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
in their window, right?
And she's got a wheelbarrow, right?
She's a full, she's a gnome, right?
Yeah.
Gnomes have I need your lighter. Gnomes have wheelbarrows. Oh, thank you. So, like, she's a female topless gnome in the sex shop. So we're, like, tipsy, and again, it's like, hey, we want that gnome to bring back to Canada to the gnome reserve that we have. We got 80 gnomes in the backyard here. And that one we need. Like 80, and so we talked to the kid at the counter, and we're like, "Hey, is the gnome for sale?" He's like, "Well, nobody's ever asked to buy it, but sure, I just got to call my boss to find out the price." And we're like, "Oh, this is perfect. We got some kid who's gonna call the boss.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this thing for sure." Kid gets off the phone. He's like, "My boss says it's not for sale." And then Jillian Hollander's like, "Here's my business card. I'm Jillian Hollander. How much is it?" Like, I have to have this gnome. So they didn't win this time because she had to go through the intermediary and the boss was at work. But she goes back to Amsterdam December 8th with a mission to collect that female gnome.
This is going to be a challenge for her for sure, because if they've decided they're not going to sell it, it's the type of culture that they might not actually. But props to her, because they will definitely know who she is and hopefully sell her that gnome. Yeah, it's a cool place where you can find all kinds of weird stuff. What else do you find, Matt? Any other stuff that you brought back, and any questions about any of the stuff that you brought back?
No, they didn't even question me about the bombs I brought back because I had them fully listed as from Canada. Like, I didn't have any problems. I brought pants back. I brought like $150 worth of rolling papers, ashtrays, and other stuff. Oh, Greg shot a shot with his Polaroid.
Oh,
Aaron's got a new Polaroid.
Yeah, I was going to take a picture and give it to Greg.
All right, that'd be great. So you get a new Polaroid.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's right. We were really high there.
I know this is the pleasure of having, being in the.
It is the Myrnawana show.
Being on the Myrnawana show and trying. Sorry. Oh, fantastic! Thank you.
So Lizzy's not going to be able to. Next week we'll have the urban grower, and we'll try and get Lizzy Borden on the show.
Yeah, the urban grower. Props again for taking second place in the hybrid category, and it was a pleasure to smoke with him and his giant joints. It'd be great to see him on Skype with you and see how much he can cloud up the screen via Skype, because I know that he and Mark Cush.
Oh man,
yeah, you might not be able to see him the whole segment.
And that'd be the best.
Smoke
that would be the best segment ever. I went with him and Mark Cush. We must have smoked an ounce in an hour. Like, the three of us, and he just didn't stop. Like, Mark actually had to stop him 10 minutes before we had to leave. Like, dude, we have to go because we're really it was like I was high from high school days. I'm like, we then drove on a highway and stuff, and I was like, oh man, I am really stoned for this.
Yeah, Yeah, and the Kush.ca after party here at Vapor Central's become like legendary. Everyone looks forward to it after TY each year.
So that's
TY
the Saturday
is
night.
coming up just the week after May 2 for a weekend, I heard, right?
I heard
yeah,
so.
it's changed each year, so I don't remember which week it's actually going to be.
But we're looking forward to another great TY. We're going to enter this year. I'm going to enter in private breeder category.
Nice.
I'll be
With your Kush?
I think because it's private breeder, I'm going to represent a seed company, seed breeder. I'd rather do that.
Cool.
I think I'm going to work with Jordan of the Island, and either Jordan's like, I'll just send you the weed to even represent. But yeah, we'll hopefully, or Dynafam.
Oh man, great
got
photo.
Myrna's pants in the
Great
photo.
So we got 9 minutes to go in this one. Thanks for everybody tuning in on Pod TV Network. You can check the replay on the Vapor Central YouTube page.
Yeah, amazing session today, Matt. Thanks so much. It was like so many strains to try. It's like a celebration of
it was a great celebration.
harvests. Yeah, perfect.
It's great seeing you. You fly back tomorrow.
I fly back tomorrow evening, and then I have a gig tomorrow night, and then the weekend.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Let's see how the jet lag is tomorrow, but yeah, it should
The
be
jet lag doesn't usually hit me on the first day. It's the second day jet lag really hits me.
always. So yeah, we'll see. I find it worse going that way. Do you find it worse coming this way?
Yeah, usually. It's easy to adjust 5 hours ahead.
Yeah. For me, it's hard to do that.
Yeah. One of the things on my very last day, I saw On the Road there at that Art Deco movie theater, and it was very great experience. Unfortunately, they have a bar, and I do enjoy a pint or two, and they had this gnome beer. Go figure.
Right, La Chouffe.
La
Again,
Chouffe.
so we go from the sex gnome onto the beer gnome, and the
See,
beer
the show's got a theme. Show's got a theme.
We got the gnome theme going today.
So I have the La Chouffes. I have a couple of those, and they hammered me.
It's a Belgian beer that's about what, anywhere between I think 8% and 9%.
Yes, it's very, and had 3 of those. So I gave because it's got the subtitles were in Dutch, so I didn't need the subtitles. I didn't need to read the thing, right? So that was the one thing. So they got all these snooty Dutch art bags watching this art, on the road, American. I'm like I'm not even half. I am in full in the bag, and so I give him the full on. That guy had to be an American experience. I start cheering for the beatniks and hooting and just giving them the full on. They're looking at me. They can tell I'm drunk. I'm like, yeah, way to go, Kerouac. And it was just a great drunken experience. I don't think I ruined it. I believe in my own mind at the time I was like, I'll give these Dutch people the full drunken American experience while they watch On the Road in an art movie deco.
Perfectly appropriate context.
The movie theater's a 1920 Art Deco movie theater house with a bar. The doors and stuff, it was a great experience. I recommend doing Amsterdam that way. Oh, the last experience I should tell you about was I was pretty high on my last day, and I was sitting on a bench. It was a great day, and I was like, I'll just watch the water in the canal and the boats. Everybody's out. Everybody was out that day. Girls everywhere. I'm just sitting, and there's a tap, tap, tap on the bench. And I was like, oh, what the? I turn around, and it's a cop. I kid you not, it's a cop, and obviously you can stink. I smell like weed, and he's looking at me, and he's talking, and I'm like, he's like, no, I just want you to move off the bench a little.
Hey Myrna, check this out. I think we got 2 callers in on the Skype.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No shit, conference call.
Yeah, there you go. Conference calling.
No, Steven, what's up?
Technology, what?
Who's got the technology? Oh, we lost both. You're getting a third call? I bet you can do 4, Goodwin.
It's Waldo's in the chat. Please limit your calling into the show. We're having difficulty.
Last 5 minutes. Hey, Al, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Just thought I'd join in on the conversation, see how many guys you could get in here.
Nice. Dude, that looks like a really chill space you're in.
Yeah, it's my little office here where I do my writings and figure out my emails and stuff like that.
Figure out my emails. Oh, man. Looks good. Well, we're going to try and... You got people on. Oh, man. The last few minutes of the show, too. 5 minutes to grow.
Yeah,
We're outta
5
here.
minutes to grow.
It's been a great show again.
Amazing.
Bye, Al.
5 minutes to grow.
Yeah. Is he back? Who's here? I don't know. We're still learning how to do all this. We're not pros. Look, the dude over there was popping his head too. Yeah, I caught you too, bro. Goodwin, can we play OPP at the end of the show and not the O Canada today? Can you try and play something better? No offense to the classified, but higher and higher Jackie Wilson be good too. Or the Jackson 5 ABC 1 2 3.
I can't believe that there were more than just us bobbing our head to Skype. Like, seriously.
It's bad.
There we go.
Now 4 minutes and we're all gonna rip for those people in Hawaii. It's 4:20 there. We got Jay Danger. Thanks for doing your gig today. Are you still there?
You're welcome.
Yep. Thanks to Goodwin for working the board. Thanks for Greg from seedtesters.com for coming out.
Thanks, Verna.
You guys are all doing it great. We're getting to the point where Sirius is going to call, or the Chorus, or one of those other shows, and they'll be like, hey, just bring the vaporizer in your bong. You're legal. You can do this.
I'll figure something out.
Yeah, dude, people will be like, Myrna's legal. He can smoke weed on the air. The best thing is what I've determined is that whatever I say comes out my mouth is clearly not libel. It's because I'm fucking high at the time. Fuck you, man. Fuck the man. You can say that. Like, Your Honor, I'm a miscreant. I hang out with porn stars. I'm a pothead. I grow weed. Like, if you really wanted to put myself, like, I libeled you. Look at my audience. Miscreants, potheads, porn stars, porn lovers. Yeah, none of these. You got to speak to them at their level.
Let's ask that question again. Name one strain we vaporized on stage.
Yeah, let's say hi to Steve Stairs.
Steve, can you name one of the strains we smoked tonight? Oh, there he is.
I'm
Steve.
barely sorry. My connection sucks.
Oh. So you don't know what we smoked tonight?
I honestly can't keep up with it, man. I've been trying to fight with your show all night, but yeah, what did you smoke?
Well, I'm smoking some Purple Kush right now. And then we smoked some Shoreline from Devil Harvest.
Yep,
we
Shoreline.
smoked this train wreck earlier in the night, dude. That wrecked us. It was like getting hit by the Via train or the Go train or something. It just ruined us.
No, when I first
I'm
harvested
still
my
high
train-
from that.
We should
when
rename
I
it the
first
Clark.
harvested my train wreck about a month ago, man, I walked to school and I was puffing on my pipe, and by the time I got in my first political studies class in the morning, I was blown
What's up
away.
with your
That train
cam?
wreck hit like a brick.
What's up with your cam?
It looks like your cam
Steve,
is
I think your
slowly
camera is
scrolling.
doing a little rotation there.
Sorry.
Christ. That's all right. It caused a great chuckle on the show. How you
That's
been?
okay, man. I've been pretty good, man. How you guys doing out there?
Excellent.
Did you see, I assume you probably did, but I watched Mayor Rob Ford's
2 minutes to
apology
4:20.
today.
It's almost 4:20? Yeah,
2
we've been
minutes.
hitting on Ford. He's old news now in the Toronto. But I hear he's now making news all across Canada. Like, the dude made news across Canada. Couldn't name your mayor worth shit, Steve. I don't know the Winnipeg mayor.
You know
Right?
what, Sam
Anybody
Kate-
here can name the Winnipeg mayor gets a bong rip right now. None of you.
Of any of the strains. on
Rob
stage.
Ford? Yeah. Dude in Winnipeg's calling in about Rob Ford. No, sorry, Steve. That's how popular City of Toronto is right now, and we should thank him for that. He
Hey,
trended.
man, you guys are going to win, too.
And we won with the Argos. What a great week. The only reason the week would be great, the Myrna Trivecta, is if we won the court case. The court case came down Thursday or Friday, and the Ontario Court of Appeal kicks the law out. Then the Trivecta in Toronto would be just like, don't we live in the best... We would have to have, we live in the best city parade.
I think I might have to move there if that happens, man.
Turn the CN Tower green for that one.
I think they should. I think they should turn the CN Tower green.
The time is now 4:20 in Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the Myrna Show. Join us next week at 7:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Pod TV or live at Vapor Central. I'm Jay Danger. Have a safe trip home.
Radio star, my name on TV. My life is
My name's Brian O'Gorman. Over the last year, I've been the host of the most badass comedy show in all of Toronto. Weedy Wednesdays here at Vapor Central, Yonge Street, downtown TO. This is Chris Goodwin, manager and proprietor and hot activist extraordinaire. This is his girlfriend, Eric. And this is his girlfriend, Christy.
My level next, my complex patterns of speech is like sex. I master the art.
I like coming here. It's a really chill place to hang out. Great show, good comedy, and good people.
As for the Vapor Lounge, just a great place to do comedy. Wide open space, lots of people show up, which is a hard thing to get in Toronto. And I really enjoy doing comedy for people who point and laugh at me.
Hey, my name is David Mirage. I do stand-up comedy. I like the Vapor Lounge because it's a wild, wicked, fun room. And my relationship with Brian Gomez, we skinny dipped in 2000 and dated for 2 days, and then he dumped me for a train. Still owe me money.
Should I trade half my money for 10 times as much sex? It's an equation from hell. It's an equation from hell.